And we're live. What?
Amazing. Who would have thought?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly.
Almost entirely.
Okay.
It's true.
Okay. I can accept that.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't have that liberty, so I'm gonna roll my dice like an actual person, and I have a DM sitting here, so
Yeah.
that's fucked up.
Yeah. You don't have your fucking bucket.
No. The bucket's still there.
Like you found it?
The bucket is sitting on the ground in like a fucking pile of ash and charred wood.
That's fucking great.
It's fucking incredible. It's perfectly intact. I mean, I don't know if the dice inside are, but like, the thing didn't melt. So
Yeah. Oh. Like. Yeah. Like they conveniently melted so that all the sides have the numbers still.
That would be a sign of God, and I would instantly devote my life to faith.
All right.
So I get
Do we have anyone actually viewing the stream at the moment?
me.
Okay.
Oh shit! I need a fucking name. Oh god.
Oh no.
That's the most important part, because then I can roleplay.
Oh yeah. My spreadsheet. Spread your cheeks.
Oh my, that took. Yeah, I think that's a record for. We got so far
for getting canceled.
We got so far into stream without being gay. That's a new record for us, guys.
Hey, Chris, you have a name? Hell yeah.
Hey, viewer.
It's me.
Oh.
And I'll explain why. So in my hold fast group, one of our Sunday night events in the pre-round, there's an emu skin, so you can run around as an emu with like a flintlock pistol or a sword and fight people. And so I had to get the link to share to my holdfast group and tell everybody, hey, I'm playing an emu person, and they're just as big a meme lords as we are, and they will come watch simply for the meme of watching one of their own play an emu person in a D&D group. So part of the reason behind being the emu group wasn't just that I wanted to meme, but I also knew it would be good advertising because people would watch us play because there was an emu person.
It's
Yeah,
but it was meme with a purpose. Memeing with a purpose.
It's a scientific fact that people love emus. That's true.
Yeah, they did lose.
They love fighting them, but just not fighting them well.
See, I just okay. I was about to ask what people's names were, so I can put it in my spreadsheet.
Manga.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You don't. How often do you strike gold instantly?
All right, guys. So here are the options. There's on the list of mine. I'm looking. There's two. There's Manga or Piwala.
Mungus.
No.
Go with the Mungus.
Manga. It's just Manga. There's no S. It's Manga or Piwala. Which one? I put Manga down, but Piwala's calling to me.
No,
Manga.
No. I mean,
okay.
Manga. It's for the memes.
Yeah. So you're playing a bird person.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
What class?
It's a level 3 barbarian.
Okay, yeah, manga. Yeah. I'm writing it down so it's official. And I'm writing
I'm
it
glad I
all
have
caps
it
also.
my laptop right here so I can keep track of all this stuff. Have it off
Apparently,
the board.
Elmer is a elf name.
Elmer?
Elmer, like Elmer's glue.
Wait, there are elves in this game? I'm not playing.
Ah, shit.
No.
Dude, it was bad. It was bad, dude. A manga? Oh, well, I'm developing manga as we speak. He is a barbarian. Whatever the official name is, we're nixing some of the stuff so he can be an emu, because whatever this race is, Arakokra or whatever, Kokra, it's some it's like an eagle person, but like that's not cool enough for this setting. Like if we were doing like an American frontier setting and I could be a bald eagle person and fly around and beat up buffalo and stuff, I would do it. But we're doing Australia, so he must be an emu. So I gotta give up this like being able to fly 50 feet ability that these creatures have, because it's an emu, it doesn't fly.
I'm about him going faster. Let's say like 45.
It works. So I have stronger legs.
Yeah, because that's extremely fast as is. And if he's going 75 feet, I have to like make the maps like enormous. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a barbarian.
He can't. Grease traps are lethal.
Yeah.
5th edition
So-
barbarians?
Yeah.
Impossible.
I guess it depends which subclass. Like if he's like the
totem.
the bear totem,
Yeah, you can't die.
he will survive everything.
So some things like, I'm obviously not Aboriginal and I don't know too much about them, but one of the things I remembered from like a documentary I watched once is that Aboriginal people do not count. They have a concept for there being more than one thing, but they can't count. No. They don't count. Like if I held up 5 fingers, I know this is 5. They would say this is many fingers. I have many fingers. So this manga, like that's how he's going to do things. Like if you ask me how many goblins there are, I'll be like, there are many. And it's like, well, could you beat them all? I'd be like, no. Could we beat them all? I'd be like, yes. Because I can tell, like I can tell how many goblins is too many to fight, but I can't tell you exactly how many of them there are.
Okay. Saying your people don't count needs context before you say it, by the way.
The mathematical concept of counting, like they can go, like you could ask how many people are in the group. I could be like, there's Chris, and there's Alex, and there's Matt, and there's me. Well, how many of you are? There are a few of us. Like that's how, like they, like when they showed this guy like explaining it, like he could name all of his children and grandchildren, and he said, I have many children and grandchildren. He can't say, he can't like tell you 10 or something.
One, I wanna.
Yeah.
So asking me questions is going to be important, because because the character's also going to be fairly laconic. So I'm not going to give you very many answers. So I feel like I seem like a wise bird person. So like if you want to know things, you have to ask them where I can answer them basically in one word, and also understand like I'm not going to tell you a number ever.
Okay.
Because I don't understand number. The numbers, like I understand large groups of things, but being able to say 10 is not a concept. Because it's not necessary in their culture, apparently, which I thought was really cool. And I think it would make the game more interesting if you did it that way. I feel like it's character building.
I like it.
I guess it also works for passage of time. Like if you ask me how long does it take to get there, I'll be like many moons. So you have to understand, or something like that, or several many sunrises or something like that. Like there's no definite answer. Like what we would consider in Western culture, like it's going to be like 2.5 hours. I got from Chris's house to my house in like 2.5 hours.
Some hours.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and did you because we are starting at level 3, so I don't know if you were. Yeah, or have you thought about specifically what I was thinking was, have you thought about a subclass?
I haven't thought that far. I'm not gonna get that worried about it. I have, to me, the thing with D&D is less about the necessarily the stats, and it's just more of like I'm more concerned like this is the character. Like I'll find a way to make it work later, like in the game, but like if I have to, but just the idea of like it's a bird, it's a person, it talks like this, it has a high wisdom score.
Oh,
Yeah.
That would equally be as good.
Oh
and
no.
and to me, it's that's what's more important than anything else. And it's like, oh, if we have to finagle something later on, we'll catch up with it.
Yeah, we'll get you a subclass. Let's kind of figure out what direction you want to go specifically. Obviously, your Unga Bunging as a barbarian, but we'll kind of refine it from there, and because there's a lot of options, and we can talk it out, figure it.
I guess the one thing that is kind of cool is like looking through the thing that Chris had looked at this morning is that there's some sort of primal path thing where I get like where my rage comes from and try and tap into sort of tribal culture and things. I went with like the
Yeah.
ancestral guardians, so like I can like summon spirits of my dead ancestors to help me like whoop some keister, which I felt was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just more
It's
emus.
just-
Yeah, so I can flock of emu somebody to death. It's pretty
You
sweet.
can go so far back, he just gets dinosaurs. No. It's like actual velociraptors, so they're like chicken size.
That'd be cool,
Utah
like,
Raptors.
ancestors.
Utah
Yeah.
Raptors. Only big ones. And then I guess I have to figure out like how many hit points. The hit points part was the one part I didn't quite get to. I know I get like a D1D12, so like, or I can
Yeah,
like
so you'll
say something
start
about
off
like
with 12. Actually, I mean, honestly, we can start at max hit die to start. So just
Level 3, you just have all your max hits.
Test.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll just start there, and then from there we'll roll afterwards.
You allowed
So
to
I'm
take
like
the
what,
actual-
36. So like the so I have the D12, so it'd be what, 36 plus my con modifier 3 times.
Yes.
So like 39.
Yeah. No, you're a barbarian. You're gonna have a lot of health. Totally
Fair.
planning on that.
Get it, boy.
It's the plan.
All right, and then Chris, because I'm assuming you're the next most prepared. Actually, probably the most prepared. Because as I'm watching Alex write down stuff right now.
Only because I just did it all in D&D Beyond and just like step by step guided it. I think the only
Yeah.
thing I don't have is like starting gear, but I was just gonna take like generic paladin package type of stuff.
Yeah, and I was one of our chats. I think I was talking about. I mean, we're starting imprisoned, so
And
we're not
that's
gonna have anything to start, but we'll get the stuff.
and that's kind of why I wasn't super worried about it. I've got my sword in my prison pocket, so
Oh my goodness.
It's just the
It's
John
a tiny
Phillips
sword.
no, it's a big pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did the random name generator, so my paladin's name is Aemon. Like, hey man.
I agree with that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's AMAN.
AYMAN, but yeah.
AY. Okay.
Oh shit.
And I just did the standard human with the +1 across the board to all the stats. I am debating on lawful either evil or lawful good. I haven't quite decided yet. If we're in prison, probably lawful evil seems more reasonable.
It is, and like I said, like you don't have to be there necessarily because it is your fault.
Right.
Like
Well,
you could be framed.
interestingly, was in my background, I think it was, I took soldier, and then like you know
War
you-
crimes.
well, we're getting there. Let me see if I can find it. Description, background. So yeah, like I have a military rank for my career as a soldier. Blah 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 blah, and then
What rank?
the best. But I don't know. I haven't gotten quite that far into it.
So a lieutenant.
Yeah, because I'm not thinking.
There you go.
No, I'm too prepared to be a lieutenant though.
Okay.
I made so like the flaw. I just did them randomly. But it was I made a terrible mistake in battle that cost many lives and would do everything to keep that mistake a secret. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a mistake. Like it could absolutely be like I just committed some heinous ass war crimes, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then like athletics, intimidation, perception, religion. Like I had a very specific bent for this character.
Oh, okay. Do we have? You said we have level 1 feats.
Yeah, and don't forget, everybody just gets a free feat.
Yeah,
A
I
feature.
just haven't looked at them yet. So, and then my fighting style, I haven't checked out because I don't think Paladins had those when I first started 5th edition.
They should. They have arc like the oaths.
They had the oaths, but they didn't have fighting styles, I think.
They
And-
shouldn't.
All
I
right.
don't think.
Well, it might be like a supplemental book that's in D&D Beyond then.
Entirely true.
Yeah, well, and I think there might be some secondary thing that you can take that lets you take a fighting style potentially. Like maybe it's a feat.
Page 84, according to D&D Beyond of the PHB. Because I also don't have a
no,
PHB
they
anymore.
Oh yeah, no, you do.
Yeah, they
I
totally.
should know this. This was the first character I played in D&D was a paladin.
So I took protection while wielding a shield. And a creature, you can see attacks a target other than you within 5 feet. You can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll.
Yep.
Yep. And I want to say there's like a shield related feat somewhere. I have to dig through them.
There is. I actually think it's in the
Shield Master, page 170.
Yeah, it's in the handbook. Yeah, I will just say because I've had people forget this, that is once per turn, unless you get more reactions somehow. Because I've definitely had people like, oh, I'm gonna do it for this attack, and then the next attack, like, oh no. That's
No, yeah. Because you only get one reaction, so you need one thing.
Yeah.
Like you would need something to give you. If you
yeah. So
take the.
Shield Master gives you some things. It gives you like 3 bullet points.
Yeah. So Shield Master is probably what I'm going to take. You use shields not just for protection, but offense. If you make an attack action, you can use your bonus action. You can use a bonus action to try to shove a creature within 5 feet of you with your shield. If you're not incapacitated, you add your shield's AC bonus to any dexterity saving throw you make against a spell or other harmful effect. And then if you are subjected to an effect that allows you to make a dexterity saving throw, to take only half damage, you can use your reaction to take no damage if you succeed on the saving throw. Basically, because you get to use your shield to block it. So
Yeah.
if I have my reaction, I can reaction saving throw for no damage, like against a fireball or something, type of deal. So yeah, that's possibly that one, and I think there's like a armor one, but I'll probably just do the shield. We're just gonna go all in on the shield, I think.
Yeah, there's like a heavy armor one that like reduces like normal damage by like 3 points or something. I took it all the time.
Yeah, well,
As
and it's one of those where we're just gonna commit.
I'm about it. I like the shield theme.
That's right.
All right, then, Alex, what are you cooking up over there?
I am a high elf wizard with the Blade Singer archetype and folk hero background. My character's name is Aeolus the Wanderer.
God damn it! How are you spelling this?
IOA.
YOLOS. Yolos the Wanderer.
Yeah, I know. IOLAS. I know I said IOA. It's because I can't fucking read.
The what? The
The
Wanderer.
Wanderer.
Okay. Wanderer, and you're a wizard.
Yes, so I went with the Blade Singer archetype. It is just a pseudo melee wizard. I get bonus proficiencies in like performance, light armor, and a single sword, in addition to my elven proficiencies. And they just get bonuses for up to a minute a day. I get to do some silly shit in melee. Not like super silly because I'm still a wizard, but some silly shit. You'll not.
Oh, I hit the wrong letter.
That's all right.
I was
Why
close.
would you do this?
Why did I do this?
Fun.
So
I'm in the process of picking out my spells now, but otherwise I'm good.
that shit just looks like it says Lola's, and you just used all lowercase,
I hate eyes.
right? Yeah, and I just changed my name in there, so it should be easy. That way, like in the group, I should just show up as my character name.
Oh.
Hey,
Yeah.
man.
Hey.
It's
That's
the
not-
guys.
There's not going to be jokes based on that.
Yeah, totally not.
Not even a little bit.
It's not gonna come up at all.
Never. Imagine thinking you're
Alright.
funny.
I can't.
No.
Need to imagine, bitch. I live that dream.
All right.
I am my own target audience.
So I guess.
If you don't think my jokes are funny, that sucks for you.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess that just means you're not me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Couldn't be me. Not me? Yeah, no, couldn't be me.
no. Yeah. So I guess I'll give a general rundown. We're still gonna take time to finish up everybody's characters and stuff, but just because I got everyone here, and there's at least like a person in the watching.
3 right now.
There you go.
I'm
So
about to log on.
Yeah. I was like, I did just open it for a second and closed it, so I don't know if it's still me. But as long as there's at least one person, will kind of explain what the setting is a little bit. And because I did write out some stuff, I've been trying to get this between school and stuff. So, and I'll share my screen if I can find out where I put. Yeah. Don't mind me hiding stuff before I open things back up. Where is it? Share my screen. Oh, hold on. I gotta let Discord actually have permission. Or did it work?
don't do it. It's gonna break now.
Okay.
The whole stream crashes.
Maybe.
Where's Discord? Okay. I have to quit and reopen Discord.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
All right.
So give me a minute.
I think Bailey wins for like the Bailey, you're muted, buddy.
All right, I'm back.
I just saw your
No, I
mouth
didn't.
moving, and I was just like, yeah, all right. I think Bailey wins for
Yeah.
like the most fun and inventive character.
Yeah.
Well, see, I didn't choose an elf because they're always cheesy regardless of the setting, and like you just can't ever do anything fun with them.
Right. All right.
All right. So I'm
Alex almost made me die with that look.
yeah, gotta make sure.
I'm gonna, cause you're gonna screen share, so I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody see your big fat face, until
Hey,
you start screen sharing,
till I start.
screaming.
All right, can everybody? Yeah, can everybody see the map
Yes.
off my
Yeah, I
screen
saw the
share?
map. Yeah, see the map. Man, the map. I'm the map. I'm the map.
All right, is all good on your end, Chris?
No. Let me. There we go.
Oh,
No,
you got
that's
it.
not what I wanted.
Oh no.
I had to, like, I got to watch the stream. I don't want to do that. No, I don't. I just see you when you screen share.
You don't see. You know what? I think I know why.
Crash course.
Yay. We're getting
Da
there.
da 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 da
All right.
da da da.
I just can't full screen it because it technically opens up a whole nother desktop.
Gotcha.
All right, so we can. So now you can see all this stuff, like the map.
Nope.
You can.
I found out who wanted it. If the Patar is out there, I can't see the chat for this, but I've discovered who one of the people is who's watching. I'm gonna give him a
No,
shout out
we're
because
not getting. We're not getting your
he's the homie.
screen.
Did you click on the thing that says watch stream?
I can.
Because I think that's what you have to.
Nope. That's just watching the stream. Like we're like in
Oh,
some
that's on. What?
Inception
Hold
level shit, buddy. We're in a stream in a stream.
Oh god.
on. We're figuring this out.
Manga only pawn in Game of Life, Bailey. There we go. We got there.
For some reason, I had to go back and hit the thing again.
Yeah. Sometimes you
I
gotta
don't
hit
know
it twice, dude.
why. Oh, actually, I can still see stuff and do this.
Oh, I know
Alright.
who. I know who else. No, I specifically stayed away from a goblin because I didn't want to bring Spud back if it wasn't Starfinder.
Always a goblin.
Is there
All right.
context for that, Bailey, or no?
Well, just some of the
Yeah.
some of the
The
people in
chat.
the chat I
Yeah.
played Starfinder with, and I played a you were in that campaign, right, Chris? I think you were
No,
at
I
one
didn't
point.
play Starfinder with you guys. I played one of the 40K games.
Okay, well, there, Austin, you guys know Austin was like DMing a Starfinder game, and I played a goblin, and the goblin, like apparently in the Pathfinder Starfinder set, goblins are terrified of horses and dogs, and so like anytime I just like went all in on it, so like anything that reminded me or looked like or had to deal with them, I would just like start screaming at people because I was a tiny like Pathfinder goblin, like losing my mind because I was terrified. And like I started like using all the ship's defenses to attack like illusionary horses the size of buildings and things, and everyone's like, why are you wasting all the ammo? And I'm like, horses. And yeah, and chocolate, apparently goblins like chocolate, so you could like get me to do things for chocolate, and people did. But no, I'm specifically trying to get away from that character for this, so no, there will not be a return of Spud. Chat not allowed.
And I choose to imagine your profession was you were a professional jacker, so you're a spud jacker.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was whatever the engineering class was because I was always like stealing things off of ships.
That sounds close enough.
There we
That sounds
go.
Yeah.
close enough. Yeah.
So look at this lovely island.
Yeah. So I lovingly refer to this to everyone as Magic Australia. This is effectively what this is. So Emu is on point. Uh,
Yeah.
the islands are called the Forsaken Lands because it's a penal colony basically, and all the criminals from two larger continents that are kind of in contention outside of this area send
This
just
is like where
agreed
they
to make
come
this neutral
together. Yeah.
territory. Yeah. And so you see the big city there, Gentali. That's where everyone gets taken to because it is the closest to the. If you look in the map, how there's only one entrance around into the island, because it's basically a big reef, rocks, coral, all that shit.
Well, and that's what I was
It-
gonna ask. Is the gold like the coastline? Is that effectively like cliffside or just like can't dock?
Uh, mostly part of it is this is an unfinished map also.
Okay,
This
it's
is
fair.
just what I have time. So
Yeah.
I just kind of got the general shape and a lot of the stuff.
Oh, I
Uh,
see. I see. You're talking about the gray going around the islands.
yeah, the gray
Yeah.
going around the island is like the reef and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I got you.
So there is like ways to go around the islands. Um, because there's just a lot of criminals here or descendants of criminals over the years. Uh, there is piracy, so people don't travel around in the water too often or try not to. But yeah, so the big city up in the top left, Gentali is like the quote unquote capital, where the two continents, the two major powers in the world, have their where they all kind of come together and have made a sort of metropolitan, like metropolis kind of city. Like it's super nice, all like big white marble buildings. There's a huge tower in the middle where the council that kind of runs the city is in, called the Silver Tower, and I'm totally gonna remember that because I forgot to write it down. Um,
Alex has got paper and pencil, dude. Just have him write it down.
Yeah.
yeah, he does. Yeah, he can write it down. I'll put it in my
I have a
notes.
Google Doc I'm writing in.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
Silver
yeah.
Tower, like you're gonna
I,
get a cease and desisted by GW because that's trademark
Right.
copyrighted, a color and a building type.
Yeah.
That's right. Actually, I think those are the T Suns their drop ships, or actually I think those are Silver Towers now that I think about it.
Yep.
But yeah, so it's like this big bustling city. Now there is like a huge portion of the city that is a dedicated like work camp effectively. So like the criminals that are there for like things like murder, treason, like big things, are sentenced there to actually work. All like basically everything else, the minor crimes, they're just kind of they might spend some time in the work camp, and then but everybody gets sent out into the island at some point.
Minor crimes,
Yes.
and they have to dig in the work.
Only some of them for a portion of time.
We call those gulags.
Yeah, no, it's very gulag. But yeah,
I'm
no, if
gonna
you're like, if it's
go
like,
ahead.
I would say if it's like petty theft or something, or like, I don't know, somebody framed you and just didn't like you and just got you out, like, you're probably just getting sent out into the island to just, if you can survive, you survive. There are settlements that people over the years have made.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah, because I mean, you're a criminal, so
Right.
both the continents are like, whatever happens, happens.
So real quick, I do have one question. So
Yeah.
the big city where you land, right?
Yes.
Is that run by members of those continents, or is that run by criminals, and then they further administrate you from that city out to the island?
It is powers from the continents.
Okay, so it's
So
basically like the and I can't think of a word for it because like the only thing that comes to mind is a military stuff. You know, we called it 30th AG in processing. There we go. It's basically like a big in processing station, and then once you get there, you're sent to wherever you need to go on the island. I just want to make sure I understand.
yeah, that's basically what it is.
Just a
Yeah,
bunch of dudes, nut to butt, waiting to go to work.
Yeah, 100%. Now like that's like now like the work camp's like a third of the city. The rest is like a normal big city because both like the two continents like are contentious and off and on at war.
Right.
And this being a neutral area, this is where a lot of information is shared and where they can kind of come together, and some freelancers can like trade and do other things. So a city of actual citizens, however you want to think. I'll ask Bailey about counting as people. Um,
It's a
but
good question.
they have made like an actual like big city that is profiting and all this stuff. Like I said, it's like white marble. It's like super nice.
Right.
But yeah, everybody gets in processed. The council there are continent people. And they are these ones are elected in. What you guys would know, so because you're all coming in the same ship, I'm gonna say you're all from the same continent.
Somebody's got some staticky stuff going on here.
That looks like Bailey.
Bailey's
I'll
hot
work on
micing, dude.
Yeah, there you go, there you go.
No, he's just muted.
Yeah, I think it's just a little hot.
I'm just gonna turn my
But,
sensitivity down.
Yeah, I think that was probably
yeah.
it, because that thing was just like it sounded like a hot mic on a radio.
Yeah, I'm just used to just annoying things in my ear, so I wasn't processing it.
Oh, you have kids too, huh?
It's actually kind of, yeah.
Right, right.
But yeah, so you're all from the same continent. So the two large continents, there's an eastern and a western one. I realize me doing this is a little weird because it might be flipped for you. But you're all from the eastern continent, which is slightly closer to the island, which is referred to as the Iron Dynasty. It is a hold on. Oh, I gotta find my lore dump notes.
Well, while you're doing that, Bailey, what did you do? Because we're back to being hot mic'd again, dude.
Like someone's cooking chicken.
Right? Like you fixed it, and then you turned away, and it just slowly went up and slowly went up again.
I'm just gonna mute while I'm typing. That's what it's gonna be.
Okay.
There we go. That works.
I wonder if
But
it's just like
yeah,
picking up his clickety clack and it's screwing it up.
yeah, it might be like triggering it or something. I could see that. But yeah, you're all from the Iron Dynasty, which is the eastern continent. And that continent is kind of in its early stages of industrial revolution. So you're starting to see some machinery, and firearms and stuff, which I think we had talked about a little bit in the chat anyway.
Yeah, hacking the blicky.
Yeah. But the major cities on the continent are very heavily policed and militarized. It's very much an iron hand kind of rule, if you want to go with
Dude,
that
I can't get away
analogy.
from the Imperium in any game.
No, you can't. But also it like effectively every city is fucking like Gotham in the sense that like there's just crime fucking everywhere anyways, even with all the policing.
Okay, so it's a like a very strict and rigid and structured society, which
Yeah.
when you impose
They
those kind
armored
of
with contempt.
yeah, absolutely. And then the you know, and and we know like when you've got dictatorships and stuff that are imposing all these extraneous rules and stuff, it does allow like black markets and underground societies to kind of thrive. So that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. And so like if you were like from one of the cities, you'd be very familiar with this. Now like leaving the cities it's a little less so. Just because they prioritize where like the big names like the politicians, all that stuff, the people who have the money, right? And that's where they're mainly focusing on. But yeah, so kind of like a keyword I put down was like grungy, is how like all the cities are. Like they ain't clean. Think like every like cyberpunk dystopia kind of thing, but in a more
Right.
medieval, early industrial revolution kind of sense. Like I
So
said.
like a regular industrial revolution medieval city. Got it.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
actually.
God, we're from Britain.
Oh no.
Yeah, about to get
uh,
hit with that London smog, son.
oh, dude, can't wait for that black lung. It's gonna be
Oh,
great.
baby.
Um, but yeah, and where you're from, it's led by a council also, but all these council positions are inherited, so it is like a pseudo dictatorship, but it's a small group of people
Okay.
that have always stayed in their families from way back when
Oh my
is
God, this does
effectively it,
sound like Britain.
right? Um, that was unintentional, by the way.
Right.
I was just making this up.
I thought we were just kind of memeing on Bailey. Hey, you're still muted, clown.
All right then, Mr. Dickens.
Hey,
Yeah,
Bailey,
but
just
that's
just do push to talk.
oh yeah, that is the thing.
Yeah, or don't. That's cool.
Yeah. He's too into it. But yeah, that's kind of generally where you guys are from. The other continent is we're calling it Golden Empire. Um, less known to the rest of the world. They're kind of a little bit secretive in a way. Um, they're a little bit more advanced technologically, and they're kind of in that weird stage of like they're taking all this like industrial tech and trying to like refine it and make it more elegant. We'll say. Um, it's slightly Eastern real life inspired in a way, but not too weeb. Um, but yeah, and they're all their stuff's known to be like it's just really elegant and beautiful. Like everything, like there's some sort of artistry in everything that they make. But they don't like to let other people in, and it is led by an actual emperor, hence the Golden Empire.
What? That's crazy.
It is
I
crazy.
would never have guessed.
But yeah, so that's like kind of like the general gist of the two.
Does the
A little bit
emperor
more from the
sit
Iron Dynasty.
on a golden throne?
We'll get to that. But yeah, so a little bit more information on the Iron Dynasty because that's actually where you're from, and where most people know, and a lot of people from the Golden Empire are very like secretive about their stuff and they don't like to share too much, and that's a different place. So
Yeah.
that's the background.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, but y'all in some way are imprisoned on a ship on your way here to the Forsaken Lands for your whatever your sentencing is, and for whatever heinous or not crimes you have made,
Um,
like war crimes.
so I'm gonna ask a few more background questions, and maybe you haven't thought about them, maybe you have. But
Yeah,
you
hit
know,
me up.
in the Iron
Dynasty.
Dynasty, there we go. You said it's effectively run by a dynastic council, right?
Yeah,
So I don't know if there's a number, and it doesn't really matter, but let's say arbitrarily there's 10. Uh, how do those get along? Like, are we looking at more of like a almost traditional quintessential nobility where they're still kind of warring and fighting with each other to vie for more power and control and influence, or do they actually kind of work together and cohabitate pretty well, or is it just kind of come and go?
So there is, I don't know the exact number. It
Right.
is an odd number because they got to break ties, right?
Yeah.
On decisions. Um, Now most of them are inherently not good people. So a lot of things like gangs that are in the city might be actually shadow run by
Yep.
the council member. Um, and they do their best, we'll say, in their own benefit to try to agree on things in the council. But they do always try to undercut each other to get their own benefits for the most part.
So, and it's funny because I'm pretty sure it was accidental, but it's funny that you used the word Shadowrun. Uh, because again,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's what it makes me think of at this point, is you have these corporations that are getting along at the surface level, but then they're hiring and contracting out to these mercenaries and gangs and stuff to kind of do all the work behind the scenes so that on the surface level everything looks good and they can't really get their names dirty. So, and again, it's mostly for
Yeah,
anybody watching. We can get that kind of background information, and then that way I can kind of understand a little bit more about where my character is going to be coming from. Because, like, as a former military person in this campaign,
it's gonna be
I
Adam
I
Smasher.
probably
Oh, no.
do what?
I said you're gonna be Adam Smasher.
Adam Smasher, the Smash Captain. Uh,
Yeah.
The
it
Blood Angels Smash Captain.
just kick him off. Uh,
All right.
but no, it just it lets me know, like, we weren't. I like, as a government official at that point, I wouldn't have been fighting against other people from that area. Like, it would have been either across the continent or on the continent itself as a defensive fight. So
Yeah, yeah. More than likely, yeah. The military does not fight itself.
right,
Um, yeah. So it'd be more against the Golden Empire in that case. Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
perfect.
We've always been at war with the Golden Empire.
That's right.
Regretting every lore decision I've made now. Um,
Hey,
yeah.
It's
I
not
just
my fault I read books.
I
Just
just
pick up a book, any book, read it.
I
It'll be
have,
great.
but I don't. They're probably not the same books, basically.
Now I'm scared.
It's hard to draw lore advice from 50 Shades of Grey.
I was gonna say actual books I've read is the Dune series,
it's
but
it's not that hard,
that,
Alex.
I read that book, read all those books.
Dune's good. Dune's good. It gets really weird towards the end of the original series. I will
Yes.
say that. Um, but yeah, is there kind of any other general lore questions? I know Chris, you're a paladin,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So, and I know you'd vaguely ask me in a chat about kind of deities and stuff. So because I do actually have this pulled up on my 2 pages of lore that I have actually written out. Um, so the Iron Dynasty, kind of like the big deity that they kind of worship,
Okay.
is a Seravine, uh, Serravine. If I need to, I'll put it in the chat. Um, and then she's the champion of the Platinum Dragon.
Ooh.
Uh, so not necessarily a overpower or like the top deity,
Right.
but kind of more of a manifestation of a deity.
Okay.
And she kind of represents like if I can read my own handwriting, like justice, honor, and glory, which is a little ironic for how the country's actually ran. In some regards,
Sure.
they kind of lean a little heavy on the justice side, we'll say.
Well, and all of these things, if viewed with a more bent kind of perspective or light, can be used to create tyranny. You know,
Yeah,
uh, so that
and that's
does
kind
make
of
sense.
where
Don't
I
you
was
believe
kind
in
of
justice? Don't you want
justice.
justice for everyone?
He did say it was like Gotham.
Yeah, I did. I did say it was like Gotham.
Swear to
That was
me.
unintentional. Um, but yeah, and that's what's mostly worshipped in the Iron Dynasty.
Okay.
Not saying other places can't. That's
Sure.
just where the majority is. Um, and then from what everybody kind of knows about the Golden Empire, they kind of follow the Great Coatl, like the kind of Aztec Coatl kind of
Oh,
thing.
okay.
And it's kind of more representation of I wrote down knowledge, intrigue, and prowess. So a little bit less on the upfront in your face side and more subtle.
Right.
Is kind of more like, and kind of why that they're a little bit more secretive, and why they're kind of a little bit ahead in technologies, because they've kind of just leaned into those things on that side of the world.
Awesome.
But yeah, so those are the kind of the two big ones I have right now. If there's something else you want to follow as a paladin, or if you just want to follow an ideal,
Yeah.
totally
Okay.
fine with that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. And then obviously, so first question is, are we getting dropped off at the start of the campaign at level 3, or have we been on this island already for a bit?
You are getting dropped off at level 3.
Okay.
Yes, you will be arriving in the ship
Perfect.
and going through processing.
Yep. So that
Basically.
lets me know we don't necessarily need to start asking about like any kind of places of interest or groups of interest necessarily right away. We'll get to that when we get to that then.
Yes.
We are but soft clay.
Yeah, like there are some known places you either would have heard of from like your kind of captors on the ship. People running it that may have mentioned certain places, which is why some of them on the map do have names. Like you know that there's a big mountain on the middle of the first island called the Mountain of Wishes. It is rumored people who can actually make it up there have their wishes granted in some way.
I know where we're going.
But it is rumored to be extremely difficult and much similar to like real life Everest. Like a lot of people just die.
It's a win-win.
Why can't it
Yeah.
just be like Strawberry Hill in Liverpool? Why can't I just go there for inspiration? Why does it have to be difficult?
Because it's a lot
Why's
more
it
like
gotta be British?
Hamburger
Yeah,
Hill.
I was gonna say, how can you be inspired in Britain?
Yeah. So that's like one place. On the opposite side of that first island is a town that a lot of the it's probably the largest town that the inhabitants of the island have made. Is it closing the map for you every time I go to look at it, by the way?
No,
Okay. It like shows up weird on my Discord, so I just want to make sure.
gotcha.
So the far side of the island is like yeah, so the inhabitants over the years have created like somewhat of a large town called Free Dock. Free because they're free and away from all the military on the other side of the island, basically. Do you have some?
No, I was gonna. No, it was a joke.
Okay. Yes, it is free to dock. Emphasis on dock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's that. You'll see a town on the northern side of the island called Revelry. That's kind of like the pirate town, we'll say, is what it's rumored to be. People usually don't get in and out without permission, we'll say. They're not the most accepting people. They're a little bit more unlike Free Dock, where they're pretty welcoming and everybody comes through because they're like, hey, we get it. We're here too. It sucks.
Right.
So it was did bad things, but we're trying to make this work. So stop doing bad things as much. Whereas Revelry's like the people that are kind of leaning in, like, oh, we were assholes before. We're gonna keep being assholes here.
Right.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Tortuga, savvy.
Yeah, very much Tortuga. And then on the other island, there's only one real place, and that's just it's New Home. If you can read my handwriting, because writing in Photoshop is weird sometimes.
It's not always easy.
Yeah, no, it is depending on the sensitivity, it does what it wants. I think I rewrote that word 12 times, by the way, before it finally showed somewhat of an H. But yeah, so that's New Home. And that's just people from Free Dock that just kind of want to, they felt like too crowded. And so they made a city across or town across the way. And then they trade and intermingle. And they're just kind of the port to the other island.
Yep. So we've got like a what I'm assuming is like a network of rivers.
Those are all roads.
Okay.
There will be rivers.
Okay.
I realized that after I had like exported this, that I totally forgot to do that.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is just like kind of the first version because you all don't know anything
Right.
or haven't been there very much, and there will be more that you guys hear about, things that you learn. Heck, events could shape the world. So this is why this is a Photoshop file on my computer because it will get edited, probably somewhat frequently. And then as for like the big question marks, those are places you won't know about right away. But
Right.
as you travel, you'll see like, hey, there's roads that go in certain directions, or you've heard about something in this direction. These are just kind of main points. They're more reference for me,
Right.
to kind of keep track that I got to put something there
Bro, it's
at some point.
like Fallout when you got the high perception.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel that
Hey,
direction.
I feel
Hyper.
that
Hyperception.
2 days away because I have a perception of 10. I feel
Yeah.
that there's something over there.
Or in manga terms, couple moon.
Not even couple, dude. Many moon.
Many. Oh yeah,
Few.
it is many. If it's more than one, it's instantly many, no
I
matter what.
agree. Yeah, no, that's the way it is.
It's orc math. I just got turned
Yeah.
into an orc.
You got it. I mean, yeah, I was gonna,
Yeah.
but I don't want to make the not counting as people comment. Bailey already did that. Yeah.
He did.
You're the ones that made it weird.
No?
It was only weird because of the context of your sentence.
Well, the lack of context is really what made it
Yeah.
weird.
Like I said, you guys got to read more books, and then it wouldn't sound weird.
No, it
No,
was
I have read books actually, and that was what it was about.
right. Like Jesus. Evidently, we're not reading the same books.
Yeah.
What kind of terrain are we talking about? Is it a lot of woods? A lot of
Yeah, so it's very tropical for the most part. So it's mostly jungle. Like I said, there's kind of a bigger mountain in the middle, so gets into some colder temperatures because it is just a tall mountain. Uh, the size and perspective of the island is not completely accurate because
Sure.
sorry, I'm not a cartographer.
What? That's crazy.
It Yeah, like it is relatively large. Like the city that Gentali or whatever is actually fucking huge. Because it's been centuries and centuries that people have been brought here and this city has built up.
Right.
But yeah, so and there will be like there are some swampy areas. But like I said, it's primarily jungle.
Okay. Well, that
Leading up
also
that
makes
tropical.
sense because they're, hopping from one island to the other and not just swimming. Um,
Yeah.
how dangerous is the water around the island?
The water is fairly choppy. Like you would need to be a pretty experienced sailor, or lucky to get around the outside of the island. The part between the two islands
Sure.
is fairly calm, which is why that there's the two towns right there, and they intermingle a lot. But yeah, for the most part, it is pretty rough.
Sure.
Um,
Is it
and
shark
yeah,
infested?
Yeah, exactly. How big are the fish?
uh, t- well,
There's always
yes, there's always a
Oh,
bigger
good.
fish. Yeah, so they're like I said, like this is not perfect perspective of
Right.
everything. The actual like gap around the island is fairly huge.
Right.
Like at least a couple miles, if not more, and it does get really deep. And
there's many miles between.
yeah, there's many miles. And there are rumored to be like underwater caverns or things under like there's a lot of rumors. Not to mention, because of the reef, there's lots of ships that have gone down, right? So there's potential like treasure, artifacts, things that could be down there.
Right.
Uh, there's a lot of potential. Maybe you got to make it there.
Yeah, no, and it's more just like, to get a sense for how dangerous the island is, how grounded everything's gonna be. Are we looking at like actual sea monsters if we try to escape type of thing, or is it more likely that just shit water is gonna wreck your boat and then you just get eaten by whatever normal predator would be there, you know?
Say
Yeah,
yes. Just say
yeah. So
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
don't
yeah,
explain
no,
it. Don't explain it. Just say yes.
it is yes.
Right.
So like outside of like the one entrance into the island, which is just like covered by all these two countries' ships, so it's like it's just being watched all the time, right?
Right.
And they traffic that pretty hard. But yeah, everywhere else, bad waters. You've probably heard enough rumors that there's bigger fish.
Yeah.
Like that's absolutely something.
All right.
Um,
I'm gonna step away for a minute. I'm gonna use the restroom. So
all right. Yeah. It is probably time for a good potty break, actually.
I have no questions.
No questions. I have a question for you, Alex. Where's your potty?
To the kitchen. It's the only door on that wall.
On that wall. All right.
Are you
So
hanging out at
everybody in
Alex's
this room could
house?
know exactly.
Yeah.
I am. I have like the worst internet at my house. And I mean that. Like my upload speed last night was 20 kilobytes.
That's
Amazing.
Yeah. I had to upload oh god, what was it? Oh, I was uploading the JPEG of this map to the Discord, and it took like 20 minutes.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, no, like it's not normally that bad, but I get that quite frequently. Yeah. So yeah, I'm here at Alex's house, kicking in his door because he has actual internet. I'm gonna go.
I had to
pee.
kick it. I had to kick in Chris's door last night because I was out too late with the boys at Wings, etc. Everybody, people in the chat know about that. People in the chat know about Wings with the boys. Could have been worse. Could have been at Applebee's with the boys.
It was like 10 p.m. Bailey.
That's pretty late nowadays for me when you got to get up early at 6 o'clock to go to work every day.
That's fair.
I mean, Salad in the chat knows that as soon as tonight's event's over and then we get through promotions on Holdfast, like I'm just gonna go to bed. Like there's no staying up watching late night NFL game. It's bed.
Did you drive down this morning?
Yeah, I woke up and drove. Like I literally got in the door, turned on my computer, and that's how fast it worked out.
Oh. Oh my.
Oh, we moved the clock. The clock moved today, Salad.
Yeah.
And what made it rough is that I was also in the only part of Indiana that is on Central Time. So technically, for me, the clock moved 2 hours because I was an hour behind what I was normally used to, and then the clock went back another hour. So I'm 2 hours behind today, biologically. Like in my, what is the thing called? The
Internal clock.
rhythm, whatever they call it. Like it's got a big long word that,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like
rhythm.
is 2 hours off right now because of Chris and the time
Yeah.
change.
Yeah, so I didn't realize time change was last night. I'm just a goblin who stays up late, and it was like 1:45, and I was like, oh man, I gotta get up for D&D in like 7 hours. I guess I better go to bed. And like I finished all my nighttime stuff, and then I looked at the clock, and it was like 1:03, and I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, I went to set my alarm last night, and it tells me how long I have till it goes off. And I set it to go off at 9 o'clock, and it was mid. It was like after midnight, I think, and it said I had like 9+ or like 9.5 hours, and I was like, wait, I'm not great at math, but like, hold on. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember hearing somebody talk about this. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Which apparently I heard
It's going away.
is going
It
away
is.
after next spring.
It
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
I actually just mentioned that in chat because somebody had said something about it. But yeah, no, it is getting shut down relatively soon, and I can't wait.
Goodness.
So I'm
So-
old enough to remember a time when Stark County actually didn't change their clocks.
Back in my day, we didn't have time.
we didn't have clocks.
Right, no, seriously though. So like you'd spend half the year on Eastern and half the year on Central, and it was really bizarre. But like I never
Yeah.
had to change my clock, and it was great.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was a time. How long ago was that? Because I feel like I had to deal with that at some
Well, I
point or
know when
something
I was
similar.
in high school, so I don't know, and I remember I went into the military, so I don't know when they started.
Yeah,
So there's probably when you were younger a good chance that you didn't have to deal with it at some, for a bit, because
yeah,
we didn't do it the whole time I was in high school, and then I was gone for like 10 years, 11 years, and then when I came back, I believe the clocks were changing. Um, So at that point, like, you'd have been like 12, 13.
Yeah, because like I moved here to Indiana in like 2004.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely feel like I remember being on Eastern time for part of the year.
Yeah.
Like that definitely sounds familiar.
Yeah, and it was like super weird because what it would do for me it would dictate where I go. So like the part of the year where I was on Eastern time, I would just go to Plymouth for anything I needed, and then the part of
Yeah.
the year I was on Central time, I would just go to Valpo for anything I needed.
That makes sense. All right, let's D&D.
Yeah.
Let's D&D. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Freaking go.
everybody got their shit.
Yeah, I mean,
I got some
are
water.
you level 3?
Yeah, I've got a feat. I'm observant, so I am wise and observant and perceptive.
Hell yeah.
Doesn't know numbers.
Yeah. Don't know num.
What good is all that perception if you can't tell us how many bears there are?
He can tell us
Enough
that there
bears.
are many bears.
There are.
Yes. As long as there's more than one, he knows that.
You
there's
have to
many.
learn how to ask the right questions.
First of all,
Are there
one
are
bear,
there how many bears are yeah, what
one
bear? I can
is
tell you what
enough
kind of bear.
bears.
Yeah. Do we have more people on stream yet?
We got about 5 right now. We've hovered between like 5
Okay.
and 8, so it's going
There we
pretty
go.
And a
well.
few
We
people
got
I know most
You
of the people in it. So my sharing out this morning's working. So this is good.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the homies.
Hello, everyone.
Big homie shout out.
Kind of coming back from our RP break. I guess to kind of reiterate, this is like our session kind of 0.5. We're finishing up some character stuff, which I think we're all good to go for the most part now. We'll work out some kinks as we go along. As kind of a forewarning to everyone, I think for most of us, maybe even all of us, it's been a while since we've played.
Yes.
Just so that everybody's kind of understanding and doesn't get too lawyery or anything or too worried about. And it is a made up setting, so don't hang on to your laurels about anything you know about D&D.
He said, I'm gonna change
Everything.
you know
I'm
about
As
the-
soon as
rewriting
somebody
the
tries to
books,
argue
son.
with me,
Yeah.
it's gone. I'm changing it. No,
Yeah,
not that bad.
like for me, as far as it's been a while, I think the last time I played an actual session of an RPG at all, it's probably been a year, minimum. Just because I stopped kind of playing at the shop, well before, the fire happened,
Yeah.
and
And kind of the same here, because I think all my games with everybody kind of died out.
right.
Well, we had the one going for, I think it was 5th ed, and then the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was it even meeting regularly? I can't
Yeah.
even remember. Yeah, I just remember I had a lot that died out. I just remember that.
Yeah.
Because anytime I love you, Jimmy. But anytime I had one with Jimmy, we all died really early, or something terrible happened, or we just decided to do
First of
something else.
all, you guys died pretty late in Curse of Strahd.
Hey, I also joined late.
That's all right. That's fair. That's fair.
And I would like to point out, I think the first session I sat in, which was by the way like one of the earlier times like I got to the store and knew you guys, was I believe Alex and Dick got annihilated.
Yeah. So my character got fucking nobody. Nobody understands grouping. They're like, oh, let's stand in a fireball aura. Oh, the warlock went down.
Yeah,
Let's keep standing in a semicircle.
But yeah, so that was kind of my relation. So
Yeah.
anyways, long story short, it's been a while for us.
Yeah.
We're trying to make it work. Bear with us. I'm making this setting up. I have the general starts of it. It will be added on as we go.
Perfect.
As I'm explaining with the map, which should be getting shared and all that stuff, so people can reference it. I don't think it'll come up too much initially, but yeah. And
good.
Take it away, Matt.
yeah. All right. So, starting off, all of you have been incarcerated in some way, shape, or form from your land of the Iron Dynasty. And you are being taken to the Forsaken Lands, which is a penal colony, much similar to real day Australia, just it's magic and a lot worse in a lot of ways. You are being taken to the port city and capital of Gentali, which is dual ran by two major continents, the Iron Dynasty, which you are from, and the Golden Empire, which is a contesting power in the world on a separate continent. But they kind of made a truce here and decided to make this penal colony work together. I know for anybody who's been here for a bit, this is a little bit reiteration, but for anybody coming in, and so that we're all in context now, I'm going to reiterate it. The ship you are arriving in is called the Matron's Deliverance.
What's the name of this island again?
The island was the Forsaken Lands.
Hey,
The
real quick,
Forsaken Island.
I happened to miss it because I probably was taking some notes on something, but I wanted to do a shout out to. I'm not gonna say this right, but it says
There we go.
Tautatis Rex. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you, buddy. Go ahead.
Awesome, thank you.
Rex is a G.
Yeah. Also, let me know if we need to call out stuff for.
Yep. Yep.
And at the end of the stream, if we have anything else we want to talk about, we can bring up too.
You got it. Sorry.
The ship was the Matron's Deliverance. Very apt because it is delivering all y'all here. So for whatever reason you guys are incarcerated, that's to your guys' knowledge. Whether you share it or not, that is up to you. You are all in separate cells, have been kept in separate cells in the brig of the ship. It has been about 2 months of travel for you to get here. You're obviously not being treated very well. You're all prisoners, right? But they're not outwardly trying to like harm you or anything. Or different from with the homeland and the cities that you come from, where they're very heavy-handed. These guys, because they know where they're taking you, they're not so much so, right? Unless they know that like you are an extreme criminal. You guys have become somewhat acquainted to your jailer, who is the assigned person to make sure that all the prisoners are taken care of. But B, once you get on the island, is also going to be taking you through your internment, I think was the word that we found earlier.
In processing, yeah.
In processing, yeah, that's what it was. And his name is Jacques. It's spelled like Jacques, but with an IZ at the end.
All right.
I don't know why. Don't ask. That's his name.
I'll come back later. I wrote it down.
There you go. But yeah, he's the one that you kind of become familiar with. So you have reference of a name. Outside of that, you were told 2 days prior to your landing that you were arriving shortly to the island. Make sure if I'm missing anything off my notes. I think outside of the background, the island stuff, I think that's pretty much it. So we'll start off kind of from there. We are arriving on the ship. Or the ship is arriving in port, and you are currently being unloaded onto the dock of Gentali. And as you see, it is a bright sunny day. It's a tropical island, looks beautiful, huge sprawling landscape of city. This white marble. We see a grand tower in the center, almost has like a metallic sheen to it, as you've been told by your jailer Jacques. It is called the Silver Tower, and that's kind of like where the people run. Everything are. Okay.
Yep.
And you're currently being led down the dock towards a kind of a staging area where you see a man up on a podium kind of directing everybody. You're finally awake. So from there, is there anything you'd like to say or do? Question?
Are we chained together, or are we just chained to ourselves? Like how manacled are we?
You are.
Am I chafing?
You are chafing.
You are. You got feathers.
Right, yeah. Right on your little feathery toes.
Except for where the chains are rubbing you raw. You're gonna need some chapstick.
Yeah. They sell it down the street. Yeah, no, you're all chained together. Y'all got like an anklet kind of thing going along with it, and then your hands are bound in manacles.
So there's nothing like connected to my neck. So I have like free movement of my neck, which is important because I'm an emu, so I have kind of a
I
moving
hate where
neck,
this is
right?
going.
Chicken
Correct.
head.
Good. Good to know.
Yeah. As you're being led toward the staging area and the man on the podium, you hear him calling out numbers, calling out people's names, kind of directing them to which direction they're going to. You see the people off to his left are going towards into a gate, uh, which looks a little dirty on the other side. So you can kind of assume that that's the internment camp, we'll say, where the work camp is, the gulag, if you will. And the ones he's sitting to his right are getting sent out more into the city itself. So you can assume that those are the ones that are not being put in the work camp. They're lesser crimes, so they get to go out and live their lives on the island.
Which one are we being directed to?
So you just want to wait until you guys get up there? Get a little bit closer?
I'm gonna preen myself a little bit because I've been trapped for 2 months in a boat, so I'm gonna preen.
All right. Munga is preening themselves.
Right. Munga
And his
became a
cloaca.
plural. Ah, God.
several manga.
Several
All the
mungas.
mungas.
Yeah. So if you guys wait, your line does end up getting sent out. Ooh, this is a thing we probably should have talked about beforehand, but it's all right. We'll make it work. Let's say, oh, sorry. So Alex's character, Iolas. You're
Legolas.
the only. Yeah, you're the only one that didn't put it. Oh no, you're the only one that didn't change your name in the Discord. So I went to look and I was like, oh no,
Wow. Set him up for failure.
come on. There should be a way to change your chat. Yeah, Iolas is kind of leading in your group. It is just you three tied together. They haven't chained up everyone. You happen to be together in this case.
Where's the
And
guard standing next to us? Who's he next to? Like, what order are we in, and who's he next to?
Yeah. So next to you guys is your jailer Jacques. He's leading you guys on. You hear his keys jangling that he's got for all your manacles. He's well equipped. He is the head jailer of the ship that took you here. I face Chris. I don't know what that means.
He was well equipped, man. I wasn't ready for that.
Oh, okay. I mean, his name is Jacques.
Oh shit.
So wherever you want to take that, but yeah. So like he's armored. He's decked out head to toe. He isn't wearing a helmet because he does need to present himself.
Codpiece.
Maybe.
We call it a front.
There may or may not be.
Does he have a codpiece or does he not have a codpiece? There's no maybe here.
Well, you got a long enough head, you can see. It is. He does. It's a dragon. It's the head of a dragon. For the platinum dragon, come on.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Get that lore reference in there.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, so he's leading you guys. He is keeping he's social distancing you guys because he doesn't want to be too close. Because he doesn't want you getting onto him or anything. Because I know some of you.
There you are, not using numbers. You just say it's the social distance, and Mungo will understand that he has to stand 6 feet away, but not knowing that at 6 feet he just understands social distance.
And one Mungo away. That's how tall he is. That's how far away he needs to be. But yeah, so he's leading you guys. He's directing you in the right direction, and making sure all the other prisoners also stay away from each other, outside of the ones that are obviously manacled together. But as I was saying, as you approach the podium, Iolas is first. He very quickly directs them out towards the city. You are unbound, all right, and led by another random guard that kind of starts guiding you.
Was I the victim of civil asset forfeiture? Do I have? I just got rags now.
Not quite rags. You all have like decent clothes. Yeah. Because they are trying to put it under a veneer of.
We're helping you.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not terrible, quote unquote.
For sure.
Unless you're one of the people who gets put in the work camp, you'll find out.
Jacques is like, let's get these chains off of you, my friends.
Yes,
You guys
exactly.
Look
He's
you
like,
guys look like level 1
here you go.
adventurers. Go to the city.
Yes,
I'm
except you're
level 3.
Oh,
Little
shit.
did they
shit.
know.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Oh no, we got their hands. But anyways, yeah. So a random kind of city guard starts leading you off EOS.
Cool.
Next in line is Munga, and
Okay, I'm next in line. Good.
the guy at the podium kind of looks up to you, looks down, looks up again. Just gave me this weird eye. He's clearly never seen this before. uh, and he just kind of slowly points off to his right, out towards the city. And he's like, hey,
Okay.
you can go.
He knows everything about bird law.
Yeah. He understands bird law. All right. And then so another
I
guard.
like bow my head a little bit and then start to plod, lope as the emu does in that direction.
Yeah, and another guard takes you and unshackles you and leads you off there. And that leaves Amen.
Hey.
Hey. Fuck, he's from Jersey now.
Yeah, it's the guys.
Start fight.
The fucking
Yeah.
Gabagoo.
All right. So the man at the podium, he's going through his list again. He sees your name. You notice he's taking a really long time to kind of decide where you're going. And the first thing he questions
Does he got a piece of paper?
you is he does. He has like
I'm
a
gonna
little.
lean over and try and peek
board.
at it.
He kind of like backs away. He's like,
Tell him you have bone spurs. Can't do it. Can't do the work.
that's not our fault. That's not the military's fault. He got those later.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. It's not service connected.
Yeah. No, not at all. But yeah, no, he kind of leans away, and you see Jacques kind of like put his hand in front of you. He's like, no. Hold on.
No, monsieur.
Yeah, no, monsieur.
Oh god, he's an actual French.
Oh, fuck. And then the man at the podium, as he's looking something, you see him kind of write down some notes. He's like, before I make this decision, you explain to me why you shouldn't go over here. And he points towards the gate for where is assumably the work camp.
I don't think I can right now. My brain is not fast thinking.
That's fair.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I'll make you a deal. All right.
Okay.
Because this is very questionable what I see in this. And he points towards his clipboard. He's like, these were very last minute, is what he's explaining basically. And he's not sure if these notes are correct. He is trying to be fair.
Right.
As much as possible. Because he understands the island a little bit better than the people from the continents are. Or do. He's like, I'll make you a deal. You will be checking in every 30 days in the city to, and he points to Jacques. He is staying for the next several months, right? And if you check in and we find out that you are having good behavior, right, and not causing any more issues for our city or our citizens specifically, you are free to stay out there. Otherwise, you will be hunted down without remorse. Do you agree to this?
So I'm just going to make sure I understand. You're telling me instead of going to the work camp, I can go live on the island with everybody else as long as I report back for every 30 days.
Correct.
And I don't create
I mean,
more
for 30
problems
days.
for
30
you.
days.
Exactly. And that's because I see the information I have in my paper here is very questionable and very vague. All right. And I don't trust this, and I am trying to be fair. I do value justice above all. It's basically what he's explaining.
Yeah, I mean that sure. That seems like a easy decision to make.
Then we're in agreement. And he points you off to the side. And
Yep,
then
just walk.
since you're the last one kind of in your group, Jacques is walking with you, and he's like, he unbinds you, and he's like, here we go. Let's not fuck it up.
Here we go.
Who?
Ooh, I need to find the spell book.
Yeah, you do.
I need to find the.
Here
spell
we
book
go. Here we
before
go. Here we go.
We'll say you scrounged up some paper, so you have a couple things.
I've got like.
He's written spells in his own blood on the boat on the way over.
Yeah.
I have just a loose smattering of paper.
Oh, he's that
Yeah.
kind of wizard.
No. It's just that they took my fucking book. I had nothing to do for 2 months.
Yeah.
You should just have your spells like tattooed on your arms. That would be pretty cool.
It
That would
is.
be pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's probably
There
what
are
he's
some
gonna
pretty
have
cool
to do
tats
now.
for it. Look at those prison tats.
Yeah,
You think
dude,
they
with
done-
the urine ink.
Oh god.
Oh no. All right. Make sure you find the artist after he's had some jungle juice. But yeah, so y'all are being led into the city, and as you kind of exit the port area, you see the city even looks more amazing than what anything you've ever seen. You come from a very grungy place in general.
Smells like Teen Spirit.
That smells like something. I'll tell you that. But yeah, no,
Very cringe.
The city is very bright. The white marble buildings, like I said, light gray stone for all the roads and everywhere. Smells fine. Crack it.
It's gonna be scary.
Why does it sound like? Oh my god! I don't know if everyone caught that. He just
Nope.
opened a can of something and it just went everywhere. Anyways, I'm continuing. So yeah, it's beautiful. The smell is unlike anything
Holy shit,
that
I
you're
couldn't
used
swear
to.
God on anything.
Yeah, you did. Is much different than like the smoggy, just like kind of shit covered streets that you're used to from
God,
the
why would
living in the
anybody
Iron
ever
Dynasty,
live in there when they could come here and breathe all this clean air?
right? And
Everybody should
that's
just
what
be
everyone's
criminals.
right, right. And that's kind of like the idea that y'all are getting through your head. You're just like, oh, this is fucking great.
So he's just doing this to reinforce the idea that we should try to return because all the content he made was really happy.
Right? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't hijack a ship and fly back. But yeah. So like, this is all looking amazing. You're taking through all these. You're kind of like a main drag, right? And you do see in the far distance, it takes you about a mile of walking, towards the end of the city, but you can see fairly early on the large gate, and there's like a huge wall that surrounds the city, and you can see the gate on the other end. It's open at the moment, and that's clearly where all the guards around you are kind of leading the
They're gonna feed us to King Kong.
yeah right, and all the guards are kind of leading you that way. You do see people. It's relatively busy, being that this is kind of like the main drag area. People like citizens and guards alike crossing the street. You see plenty of taverns, shops everywhere. But yeah, and then you just like hear the guards kind of mumbling about themselves about what they're gonna do now that they're back in the city. And like, oh, did you hear about the wench in that tavern? You know, kind of thing going on.
There it is.
That kind of like yeah, that kind of like locker room banter going on between them, we'll say. And then you hear like the citizens like calling out stuff, shopkeepers trying to get people to come in. You're like, hey, maybe if you come back, pointing at some of the prisoners, like
Right.
you can buy some stuff, that kind of jazz. But other than that, you are just being led down to the end of the city.
To the end of it, we're being led there.
Yeah, like you're being led out of the city.
Oh, fuck.
Like you see them that you're on the main drag. You see the gate, and it's very obvious. And you would know enough that like you're all just getting sent out into the island.
Oh, we don't even get the ticket in the city.
Not
No,
initially.
No.
we're
Fuck.
riffraff.
No.
Yeah. Remember, everybody in the city are like actual citizens from the continent.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or people that have like willingly, not through incarceration.
They count as people.
They do. They do count as
There are
people.
many of them.
There are many people. But yeah, as you're being led away, is there anything you would like to do? Ask people? you are mostly surrounded by guards, but I mean,
Well,
they don't seem super grim.
I would say whichever one's like the nearest to us as we're being let out. I think the first question
Jockeys.
would be, hey, what can we expect as soon as we get through these walls? Like, is there a community right on the other side, or is it that's it? Like, once we're out here, we're out here.
Jacques kind of gives you a little chuckle. He's like, huh, not right out. Most people just want to leave as soon as possible and get away from these people.
Sure.
He does tell you that he knows about on the other side of the island is Free Dock.
Right.
As you can see on the map. He's like, most people make their way out there if they make it.
Oh,
But there's probably other places.
I wrote.
I don't leave the city.
I wrote him down that he was a friend. I'm crossing that out. He's not a friend.
You've lost friend status, buddy.
Yes.
We're breaking up.
ELS will remember
I
this.
wrote that we were kind of friends, so I just wrote crossed out friends. He's just
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean he's not being shitty about it. He's just like he's assuming he's never gonna see you guys again. Outside of
It's fair.
actually, honestly, even though that you need to report back amen every 30 days, you can tell he's kind of assuming to never see any of you again.
Right.
It's gonna be really funny if you like die in some ditch somewhere and don't report back, and then they just like send people looking for
They're-
you.
First of
Right.
all, they're not sending anybody to look for me. They're not.
Yeah, no.
Like,
no,
that's a
no, no.
waste of manpower.
Yeah, that
They're
is-
just
that is
gonna assume I'm
awful.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was right off in the papers.
So
Mungo,
Yeah, that's kind of-
Mungo wants to know where they keep, where did they honor the ancestors?
kind of looks to one of the other guards. They kind of like give each other like a little bit of weird eye, and he kind of looks back to you. He's like, what ancestors?
You have ancestors. You exist. Someone came before you. Where is the place where you honor them?
It's back home. Graveyards, monuments. There's none of that here for you. I can tell you that.
it's a little rude.
I'm just gonna sort of like nod my head in sort of agreement and just sort of like submission of like, all right, that's all I'm gonna get out of that, and
Yeah.
ignore them now.
Yeah, and you see him. He just kind of gives you like a weird eye, and just again looks at the guard next to him. And just fucking no. But yeah. Anything else?
Maybe. Give me a second to look at my skills. Probably not. Never mind.
I'm just
Okay.
chilling. I'm being chilling.
Yeah.
Everybody's like a villain.
Yeah. No. It's I think that's
Make
it
me
for.
white.
All right.
Oh no.
Oh, is there a thing?
No, I had to move something real quick so I could see my skills, and then put the stream on the stream.
Oh, on your stuff.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Not my secrets.
Did some Inception level shit again.
Nice. Yeah, but anyways, as it's taken some time, like I said, it's like a mile long road to get to the edge of the city. It's
Right.
really large.
But we're not shackled anymore, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
You are surrounded by
Right,
guards, as I
right.
said, because they're making sure that they're your escort, right? They're making sure you
Right.
get out there.
As we're making our way downtown.
Making your way downtown. Yeah.
Walking fast, faces pass, and
There
we're
we go.
jungle bound. Do 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 do.
No. We're all goons here.
Yeah. Terrible people.
Anyway, as you guys are walking down, you make it about halfway, and you feel something weird in the air, right?
Smell or feel?
It's a feel. So you notice it starts to feel a little cool. Like the sun looks like it's still out. So like you're assuming you should be feeling the heat of the sun. You're in a tropical place, right? But it starts to drop, and what was like once like in the 90s is now like 70 or something.
This place
Like
is haunted.
yeah, like it was a very gradual for the walk that you've been, but it's very noticeable. Right.
I'm gonna like shiver my feathers so like it's obvious, like like a big fuzzy shakedown, so like people can tell I'm not pleased with the sudden drop, and also to draw attention to the fact that it is now noticeably colder. Like there's now this giant bird person like losing a couple feathers because he's like shimmying.
He's all ruffled up. No, I'd like to like scan the area, check the sky, see if there's anything abnormal.
Yeah, sure. Roll a perception.
I got a 16.
16. So you're checking out Jacques?
Just like this immediate.
Jacques,
surrounding
what a
buildings.
guy.
I mean, I already checked him out. It was a
you
long
did.
2 months.
You saw the cod piece.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like looking over the immediate area if there's anything weird with any buildings or anything.
Yeah, so in the immediate area, you see the people around you. Everybody seems to notice that there's something weird, but they're all like trying not to draw too much attention, trying to go about their day, because just you can assume that every day is pretty normal for them around in the city.
Yeah.
Nothing too extreme. And you look at the buildings, nothing seems weird. If you look around, you do see what appears to be a cloud start to come over in front of the sun, but it's not like quite covering it yet, so it doesn't really make sense.
Okay.
That it's so cold.
Fine. It's probably nothing. It'll pass.
I disagree. It's probably something.
I disagree.
Chris, can you roll me a die on yield perception there?
Yeah. Give me that fat D20. 17 on the die.
I get +5 from being observant.
Shit. Yeah.
Intelligent bonus. I have a 12, so I don't think I get an intelligence bonus, but
Wisdom.
Yeah, it's gonna be your wisdom.
wisdom, I get a +1 there because I have 13.
Yeah, so what's that, like a 23? Yeah. No. So
It's
yeah,
meaty.
you absolutely see all the same things.
Can I tell where it's coming from? Like, is that something like to add to it? Like, can I tell like if it's emanating from somewhere?
It doesn't seem to be emanating from quite anywhere. Like it feels like it's everywhere. Like there's not a specific side of your body or anything. Yeah, it's not a wind. Like it's because you're in the city and kind of being covered by outside of like the big lane that you're in. There's a lot of high things around you, so there's not a lot of wind where you're at anyway. But you do notice a lot of the guards are starting to get kind of a bit on edge additionally, and some of them are even like kind of sliding their hand onto like their weaponry.
So this is something abnormal.
Yeah, they are clearly uncomfortable about this.
Are they looking up or down or to the side?
They're looking pretty much everywhere because you can clearly tell that they also have no idea what the hell is going on.
I'm just gonna say out loud, this is I thought it was supposed to be hot here. This is comfortable at best. What's going on?
Jacques will kind of confide in you and be like, "This is not normal. I have no idea what's going on, but you stay here, right? Stay in line. Get you to the edge of the city."
You bet.
And I mean, they're all still trying to lead you.
Yeah.
In that perception roll, did I notice that any of the guards near me have anything of value within neck range?
How long is your neck?
I was with you until you said neck range, and it's like, okay, man.
Because they're all staying about like 6 feet away, roughly.
So we're socially. So yeah, no, my neck. Like I actually started looking up articles on emu anatomy because I didn't know what it was, just so I could figure out. Okay, so basically you're telling me they're not close enough to where I could like while they're distracted and looking the other way, I just can't lean over and be like, oh, it's a money purse. Oh, it's a knife. Oh, it's a map. Oh, it's
Yeah,
They're saying-
you'd have to take a step out of line, basically.
that's not cool.
They're social distancing.
Yeah. They absolutely are. They don't want your weird emu disease.
You're gonna give them bird flu.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple. I
can't give them bird flu. I can't fly.
He's not wrong. I don't know what that means, but I'm just gonna say he's not technically wrong.
Can't fly. You are correct.
Part of that sentence was correct.
Sure that is having bird flu is predicated on being able to fly.
I'm guessing
Yeah.
it was some really bad wordplay because flu is the past tense for fly.
Ah,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
it
Yeah.
flew over my head.
Dude, your rap game's got to be on point around here, son.
You're right. Need to freshen up. But yeah. So anyways, um, outside of neck range, I'm gonna use that in Warhammer now. Are you in neck range?
For your
When you
Thunder
use
Syndicate dudes.
your yeah, chicken.
Yeah, I'll use it for my Lord of Change.
When you go to
Um,
smite somebody, you're gonna measure and be like, "Are you within
neck range.
neck range?"
I would like to formally apologize to everybody watching this right
Yeah.
now.
Apologize to myself for listening to this.
Yeah, do expect plenty of this. You have been warned. I'll try to
Yep.
keep it on track. But anyway, a couple minutes do pass as you're walking. You still see everybody's quite on edge, but everybody kind of like starts to calm down a little bit because it has just been a couple minutes and nothing's happened. It's
Is it
just
still
kind of
cold?
stayed that weird cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
it stayed weird cool temp. You do notice, though, over the course of time that it is starting to dim around you. Well, around everything that you can tell.
Right.
As this cloud is starting to cover the sun, which seems normal. It's not showing up like a normal shadow though on the ground. Like you don't see it like a hard line and pass. You just notice as it's getting closer and covering more of the sun, it's just kind of a blanket everywhere. It's getting darker. Um, yeah. So a couple minutes down the road, you're still a couple minutes out from the edge. Actually, a good few minutes at the walking pace. Um, and you do see Jacques kind of lean over, start talking to some of the guards, and you see him or see some of them start spreading out, going down different streets. So there's not as many guards around you,
Right.
because he's delegating them to do stuff, to go check things out, checking in shops, people's places to see like is there something going on, somebody noticed something, because obviously he has no freaking clue also.
Sorry, guys. It's just Willie.
It's really hard to be an ice wizard when you live in a tropical environment.
Right.
Bro, no. I'm not using ice as in cold.
So hey, Jacques, why don't you go check that out, and we'll see ourselves out.
Like, you know what? That's a great idea. I'm gonna not do that. Stay here.
This man committed war crimes.
Yeah, he's like, I've seen the clipboard. I know what you might have done. These other two, I'm not worried about. He looks weird. Um, but I'm keeping an eye on you.
Better watch your mouth. You're in neck
Specifically.
range.
I'm aware.
Aware what?
Aware French. Uh,
Oh.
oh no.
Every full moon.
Yeah.
So
And
looking.
Hey, did you bring enough for the class, Alex?
No, fuck you.
Looking at the cloud, does it seem to have any kind of specific shape to it, or is it just like an amorphous, like cloud that doesn't really do anything?
Roll me one more perception.
All right, let me pull up my fatty die
Well-
roller.
Do one
Because
if
you
you
are kind of
feel if
looking
yours is
at the
bad.
sun.
If you do poorly, Chris, roll one for me.
I'm gonna throw it on stream. There it is. That's a nat 20.
Let's go.
Is that
Did
your
wha-
first roll?
No, he rolled one.
Or
I
did you
rolled
roll
one for
perception for yourself?
Bailey, and then I rolled.
Yeah, he did one.
That was
Yeah,
my.
that is your first.
That's my first roll, so that means it's gonna
Yeah.
be all downhill from here.
Oh yeah. I can't
Good.
wait.
That's one hell yeah.
We haven't even gotten combat.
That's right.
Yeah, so with your ridiculous eagle eyes, better than an emu's.
Is everybody a bird?
It's almost Thanksgiving, bro. It's the season of the birds.
That makes you the turkey.
Oh no.
Gotta get
Yeah,
gobbled.
as you're looking at you look at the sun, up at the sun, in your high intelligence, and you're trying to check out the cloud. You notice it is almost a perfect circle, and the cloud it's like black, like it's somewhat opaque, but you do notice that it is like straight up like it's black, whatever it is, that whatever volume is filling up that space.
I'm surprised nobody's talking about this.
I'm not the smartest man in the world.
Just point
Yeah.
up at it and start screaming.
But I could definitely figure out that that is not natural. So I am gonna share that information. Hey, that's not a cloud. Obviously, I don't know what it is, but it's not a cloud.
Go up at it.
That's no
Yeah.
moon.
I can see it. No.
Yeah, if you guys want to look, you guys will see.
I'll do an Arcana check.
Sure.
If I know of any phenomena similar, it's a 19.
Okay, we'll come back to you.
Yep.
But yeah, so the other two, you guys can look absolutely, and you will see the same thing that A-Man has seen. Jacques will just be like, "No, I'm not listening to you. That's a trick." He's like, "Just keep walking."
Yeah, you
Right.
caught
And
me. I wanted you to stare at the sun so that you could be blinded. Then I could punch you and take your gear and then get killed on this prison island. God, you foiled my plan.
he's like,
You are.
"See?"
We know this.
Yeah, he's like, "See, you told me." And he was like, and he just keeps kind of keeping his eyes down and not looking.
How does
Yeah.
this
So
place
what
stay
was your
in
total?
business?
19 Arcana.
Said 19.
Yeah. Hard
Uh,
labor.
what?
He asked how this place stays in business.
Oh, yeah, it is the work camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Eolas, you still haven't changed your name on
They don't
Discord.
know how to.
You goon. Somebody wants to tell him how to do that. That'd be, or message
No.
him, tell him how.
Yeah, we'll do it later.
Type it.
Yeah. But yeah, from what you can tell, nothing you're familiar with now, and maybe some like deep dives that you've done in your studying. Usually things that are quote unquote unnatural, and that are like unnaturally black specifically, do relate to things such as the Shadowfell or even the negative energy plane.
Oh.
If they manifest in the material plane where we're at,
And that would make sense for as to why it got colder as well.
it would.
Ah.
I very much would. So yeah, so you can discertain at least that much knowledge from it.
I'll just out loud. I'll be like, no, I do not believe the buffoon was lying. There's something up there.
And then you see Jacques kind of.
It is not natural.
Yeah, Jacques like kind of shaking his face.
Man's gonna get evaporated.
And he's like, "Fine," and he looks up, and when he looks up at
Instantly blinded. Ah!
it,
Quick, forward!
it just
Funny.
he all he sees is white, and he just hears a rain in his ear. He's been flashbang. No, but quite the opposite. So as he looks up, you're all looking up, and conveniently as he turns, all you see is the cloud has finally covered the sun, right? And immediately gets way darker. And all you see is a beam of blackness, just ooey gooey blackness, shoot out and fire straight into what you guys know to be the Silver Tower,
Oh, I thought
where the
this was
council is. The council is.
the camp counselors.
Yes. I'll learn to speak one day.
I thought Jacques was just gonna get evaporated for being so insolent.
We at least now know that Jason Voorhees is the wizard behind all this.
Right?
No.
All the camp counselors.
Oh no. But yeah, so you see this just beam.
So I don't like to
Right.
use the words ooey and gooey to describe this beam.
It is because it's you see it physically like
Oozing.
leaking, just oozing
Yeah.
Drip is
blackness. There is drip. There is drip.
Oh shit!
Like, are we
Uh,
talking Spirited Away? Spirited Away, ooey gooey, like
Yeah,
Stink
that's
Spirit?
actually-
I think so.
Yeah, that's a.
Just like a beam of that, but black.
Yeah, and you just see it drive straight into the Silver Tower, and
How far are we away at this point from that tower?
so from the tower you are about a quarter mile away.
And how far from the gate?
About a half.
This is the
mile.
part where I start sticking my tongue out and go beep beep and just like take off like rough.
Yeah.
We should probably start running. I feel
Yeah,
like
and-
doesn't look good.
And if you stay and decide to watch it just for a couple seconds longer, you see it start to kind of
Yeah, I'm gonna watch this. I'm enthralled.
yeah.
This is must see TV.
Yeah. It's cool. You see this black goo. It looks like that black 3.0. Like there's absolutely no light at all, and you see it start to consume the tower, and almost like outside of just it oozing as like a liquid, you do see like kind of tendrils start to wrap around it. And from the other side of the tower, kind of like the opposite side of where the beam is hitting, you start to see what is effectively a portal open up.
Yep. I don't do portals. I don't do portals. Let's go.
And all you see is this massive shadowy arm start to reach out, grab the side of the tower, and start whatever being it is that's vaguely humanoid from what you can tell from the arm, starts pulling itself out of the tower. And
So when
the
you
tower itself is like a couple 100 feet high.
Yep, you're about to answer my question. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. And it is uh its arm is probably like 50, 60 feet or maybe more. It's hard to tell because of the distance.
Like
but it is
like
like
elbow to wrist. Because I envision this coming out
yeah.
like almost like this and like
Yeah, it's like doing the whole like wrap around and pulling itself out.
like in Ace
Yeah,
Ventura when he's coming out of the rhino butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But Death Portal.
Yeah. But not fun and cold.
So this is really hilarious.
I mean, that movie wasn't that fun.
You know John has the Chaos Gate thing he's been running?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, last night I stuck my hand through it, and I would be like, how fucked up would it be?
Yeah, just like that.
We're dating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't even there, so it's even greater.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
But yeah, so you just see this massive thing start to pull itself out. It is basically the same color, like that deep black. But you kind of see not quite like flame like, because it's more like it looks like the same goo, but it is rising off of it, similar to flame.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a slightly different color, so you can kind of see the outline of it as it's coming out. And
I hate to tell you, Matt, but The
when-
Simpsons already did this.
I mean, maybe they've done everything.
Right. I mean,
I can't escape that.
That show's damn near as old as I am, Bailey. Like,
it's a little unfair. But yeah, and as you saw it, the portal open, you did notice that most of the sound in the world was just gone, and you just hear this loud like
oh god, we got hit with the
rumble.
tinnitus beam.
Yeah. Y'all got bass dropped. Is actually what's kind of happening, and a couple seconds after it opened,
let's
this
dubstep
loud
out of here,
rumble.
son.
And then you see this horrific low screech just comes out as this thing's pulling itself.
Yeah, guys, it's time to go. Hey, Jacques, will you make all of this? He's just gone.
Yeah, no, he is 100% fucking gone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're going.
Well, hold on a second, Matt. So, because I can sense danger as a barbarian, I can't be deafened, blinded, or incapacitated. So, is there something going on, like where other people would have been deafened or like now clutching their ears in range? Is there something that I would notice that nobody else would because I'm not being incapacitated in the same way?
So not really, because like literally the sound was gone. Like it wasn't just people were deafened. Like the air stopped wiggling. Is effectively what happened.
That makes sense.
Which you would notice to be super not cash money. And
Not
way out of the
natural.
realm.
And
Yeah.
that's my thing. I'm all about the nature, and this is not good.
Yeah.
But I would be able to tell this would be otherworldly potentially. Do I have to roll for this, or if this
no,
is so?
it is 100% not
like-
of this world.
Hey,
Yeah.
Would a knowledge religion check help me understand any of this at all?
Give me a roll. Let's see what happens.
All right, that's a 7 plus bonuses. Give me a second. Knowledge religion. So it's a big fat 10.
Big fat 10?
Yep.
Nothing that you can discertain. Like it's clearly like not good.
Yeah.
You can tell that, but nothing really beyond that. Yeah, so I guess with
But
that,
there's
with all
this
that
loud
said,
scream. Are people being? Everybody else is like clutching, like ring wraiths, like clutching their heads and shit.
yeah, you do see several citizens start to cover themselves. They're start like duck. Some of them
Are
running
the
back to
guards
their
that are with
houses.
us doing this?
Yeah, actually, most of them are. As I said, like Jacques, like after he realized y'all weren't bullshitting, he started going.
Fucking did that.
After saw that, he was like, "Nah, fuck this, I'm out." Some of the guards are also doing the same. There are other people in the city, clearly doing the same, but this is like within the first couple seconds of this happening.
What shops are immediately around us? Like within a few steps? Because imagine we were going down like a promenade sort of thing to
Yeah.
the gate. So like, what is directly in our vicinity?
There are two different taverns on opposite sides. Next to one is a like a general store.
Okay. With the tavern names, are they just like generic tavern names, or are they like?
Yes, please don't make me.
Okay. Um, is there any like blacksmithy up the road towards the gate? Like any open forges I could see, or any workshops?
Towards the very end, there is some smoke you see coming out of one of the buildings.
Okay. Then real quick, like, yeah. While everyone's kind of like reeling from this, I'm just gonna run straight to the general store. If the door's open, it's getting thrown open.
Yeah, it's the
Gonna
middle
go-
of the day. It's
yeah,
open.
I'm gonna go inside. If there's any immediate supplies within like 5 feet of the door that would be useful, I'm gonna grab them and I'm going back out the door and up the street.
Okay, you guys.
The guards. What are they armed with?
Most of them have either a short sword or a rapier. Some of them have like a buckler also.
Okay.
And everyone has a knife.
So just like hand weapon, shield.
Yeah.
Maybe some light armor type of stuff.
Yeah, pretty basic. None of them are decked out like plate or anything.
And they're all pretty much just like no organization at this point.
Yeah, within these like first few seconds, they have completely lost
Okay.
control of whatever's happening.
If there's one that like takes off running away from the group, I want to go after him and try to disarm him.
Okay.
So my question, the question at this is, if they aren't they would just be dropping their stuff, right? Like it's already just there. Like there's stuff. Like if people are dropping and running, like there should just be things all over the ground where we could just pick it up, right?
Yeah, there's some civilians that have dropped like whatever goods that they had. The guards, none of them have actually like unsheathed their weapons, for instance.
Right.
Okay.
Because they only had their hands on it to just prepare, but as soon as this happened, they all like, cover their heads with their hands and stuff. So they haven't really dropped anything.
Okay.
But yeah, so A-Man, if you want to make a strength check.
That's Scromp. All right, that is a 12 base plus 3, so 15.
All right. You can absolutely wrestle out the short sword from one of the guards.
Okay.
He was not holding on very tight.
Right.
Actually, realistically, because he didn't even have it in his hand, you just kind of ripped his whole like belt with the sheath and everything.
Like, dude, you got the fucking scabbard and everything.
Yeah.
What a steal!
His fucking pants fall down. He trips, falls.
Yeah. Got him.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if he even immediately reacts to it or not.
No, he's fucking booking it.
No,
He didn't even notice.
Awesome. Cool. I don't need the scabbard at this point unless it's got everything attached to it so it's usable. If it's not,
It
we're
is.
just okay. I guess I have a short sword.
That was a clean tear.
Yeah. No, this he was clearly like a newer recruit.
Right. He
like,
didn't
his
have
shit
it
all
buckled properly.
Yeah.
This
You
is
can
why
see
you
he
tie
just, like-
everything down.
Yeah, this is like he clearly like did like the oh my god, Ian Malcolm from like Jurassic Park couldn't figure out how to buckle the seatbelt and just kind of like loose hide it.
Right.
But yeah, so all right. So you've got a sword. You're running into the general store. We'll figure out that shit. In a bit.
Nondescript supplies.
Manga.
I'm going to look off towards the gate in the jungle, look around casually to see if anyone's dropped like a large staff. If they have, I'm going to pick it up and just start walking towards the jungle. Like, and ignore the giant thing. Like, I'm just going to start walking away.
Walks away.
Okay. We'll say. Yeah.
If no one's dropped anything, I'm just gonna walk
No,
that
no.
I want. Like, I'm just gonna walk away.
You do find a because Alex read my mind.
Yeah.
You do find like an old man's walking cane.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. It is very fancy decorated, actually, and at the both the end that you grip with your hands. So it's like a candy cane kind of shaped one. Both ends are actually metal, for like stability and hardiness, sturdiness.
So you're saying it's double-ended?
It is. But yeah, so you grab that, and then you said you're running, right?
I'm just gonna start walking towards.
The gate.
Yeah. Because everyone else is like running, like, so that way I can see where other people are running, avoid people if they try and run into me. Yeah, I'm observant emu. You know, looking
He's a
high,
midget
looking
boy.
low.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a wagon, I can like stick my head in while I'm walking by under the tarp, see if it's anything's in there, and just keep walking out.
Yeah. We'll say you could find that there are carts down the street, and you can probably find some like produce and stuff. So if you want, you can grab some like food items, knowing that you're going out into the wilderness. Would make sense. So while all y'all are kind of grabbing stuff in the next like 30 seconds or more, um, you have observed that more of this creature has come out. It's like entire like torso, which is you realize this thing is starting to rival the tower in size. Like it might not be as tall, but it is pretty freaking close from what you can tell, and it is absolutely human shaped. Outside of all like the gooiness kind of floating off of him. The
Delicious
only
goo.
facial features, yeah, all the goo. The only facial features that you see are just two glowing eyes that are they're white, right? And they're a stark contrast to the rest of him. And kind of as he's reaching and pulling himself out, sometimes he grabs onto like a building in front of him, and you see the same like goo pouring off of him and like the tendrils spreading onto the building, like he's infecting everything as he's going along. And by this point, the whole entire tower is consumed, and you can only assume that it's just going out from the base further on.
So I know
And then
you have referenced a few things here, Bailey, like Simpsons and everything, and I think you might have made the Spirited Away reference too.
he did.
But this just makes me think of the end of Akira.
Yep.
When Tetsuo gets all like fat and nasty and he just starts swallowing everything with his little like pseudo robotic bits.
As
Which
soon as you started saying that, I knew exactly
yeah,
where you were going.
yeah. And you know, just a forewarning to anybody watching that has kids. That scene is absolutely terrifying to children. Just so you know.
Fun fact.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, so all that's happening. He's the creature's pulling itself out. The area is still continuing to be very cold, very dark. Um, Arguably getting more so over time. Um, and you do notice as you all start to make your way down the street, getting away from the city as much as you can, or attempting to get out of the city, I should say. Um, you do see that beam that's been smashing into this into the silver tower starts to split off, and there's other smaller beams that are reflecting and hitting other parts of the city as we go along.
So they're staying generally localized though. They're not like, oh, I could tell this one's going across the ocean. Like they're all kind of staying in the city.
Yeah, they're staying in the city. And you do see some like hit like obviously like a couple streets over from you, other sides of the city,
Okay.
because the tower's up high, but the
Well, as
city's
soon as you
huge.
say that they're hitting a couple streets over from me, I'm no longer interested, and I'm gonna pick up my pace.
You're gonna pick up your pace.
Yeah.
All right. So you can make your way around. Y'all. I mean, y'all running.
I mean, my intent is to jog, not necessarily sprint, because again, like Bailey said, like I want to be able to kind of watch what people are also kind of doing and observing, but I also want to increase the distance between myself and that.
Makes sense. Okay. So as you guys are kind of making some good time down the way, and these beams are just crashing in. You're hearing people screaming. There's obviously crap going down if it wasn't obvious already, and it's just cranking up in intensity as we go along. And you guys get about like 300-400 feet away from the gate at this point, and this all has been happening before you do see one of the beams hit like an alleyway in front of you, like in front off to the side of you, just out of sight. But you see one of the beams land, and you just see the goo kind of pour out into the streets very briefly, and you see one of the guardsmen who was by you at one point, all of a sudden come out from the side of the building, falling with a humanoid, like a smaller version of the thing that's been coming out of the building, just coming out. He's on top of him. He's like reaching into his mouth and like just obliterating this dude basically, and just turning him into this like black ash and goo.
Damn, he's got a laser rifle.
Yeah,
Oh my.
yeah, it's intense, boys.
Yeah.
Upon seeing that,
All
I'm
right.
going to abandon the plans to swing by that smithy and grab a sword, and just going out the gates.
It's
Not
time to munga speed. Beep
Munga
beep.
All right, Roadrunner's on his way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so y'all just kind of keeping your pace. Some of you, I mean, you two said you were fucking sprinting basically by this point.
Oh yeah, now after seeing the man get turned into dust from the friggin' gabagool, I'm gone.
Yeah, I mean,
what about you, Ava?
I'll just try to keep up with them at this point.
Okay. All right.
Guys, I want to ask you a question. How much do you think I paid for this box of cereal?
$2.
37 cents.
Hold on, I gotta see what I can't tell what that is.
Wait, are we doing prices right?
Does
rules?
that say fruit
Yes.
brute?
Yeah.
It does.
Okay, so
$2.
It's $2. You bought 2 of them.
I just like to say that whatever you paid, it was entirely too much.
It's fair. What do you think, Chris? What do you think, chat? Anyone in the chat?
Fruit brute. I'm gonna guess it was $1.75.
Alex is the winner chicken dinner. I paid 50 cents at a Meijer because it was closed out for Halloween.
So the only reason, I knew that these were cheap because the party I played a gig for on Friday night. My friend who had the party had 2 of those boxes, and I remember it being like super cheap. Anyway, so y'all are running.
We're not sponsored.
Yeah, we're not sponsored.
It's a show commercial, but we're not sponsored.
If you want cheap cereal, that's probably okay at best.
Cereal. Get the job done.
It does. It does. It's calories.
Yeah.
But yeah, so y'all are running past, trying to get to the gate. You go past this thing. You do see it is pretty disinterested in you because it's still like dissolving this dude basically.
Right.
Um,
Just absorbing
but you
his
do
essence.
see, yeah, and you do see as you pass the alleyway from where this like blast landed, there's more of the similar happening. Civilian and guard alike. Just these creatures. Most of them are humanoid. There are some small, like kind of impish creatures that are also doing it, and they have wings. And just a couple just random shaped things that you can't really tell because they are Black 3.0, like in terms of how dark they are. So it's very difficult to tell their outline for some of them. Yeah, but as you pass, you see that another blast lands on the opposite side of the street in another alleyway, but ahead of you still.
So this is gonna sound like a dumb question. Can I assume that the ones with wings are actually flying, or do they just have wings?
Well, all the ones that you saw in the alley are attached to a person.
Okay.
So you
I mean, this is
assume
a
that they
relevant
can fly.
question. I have wings and I can't fly, so this is a relevant question.
So
He's
so
not
the
wrong.
answer is we don't see them flying, but we see that they have wings.
Yes,
Okay.
and some of them are like I said, they're like impish, so they're kind of small, but they're like on people's fucking faces.
And you
So
said a beam hit right in front of us now?
yeah, it's like kind of similarly off the street slightly,
Okay.
but in another alleyway on the opposite side of the street in front of you. And you only have about 150 feet left to the gate, except for if he wants to use his full speed.
Right. Um
Yeah, Munga's silent.
I've been hauling ass like since I
Oh,
said
there we
I'm
go.
moving. So wherever these losers are,
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he's
I'm heading
not
for.
waiting.
Yeah, okay. So you're then just reaching the gate, we'll say, because you've got
Can
emu
I
speed.
look around outside as I exit the gate?
Yeah. So you get the gate. You see that there's obviously like guard postings everywhere. On the inside part of the gate, you see a ladder that leads up to the top of the wall that kind of surrounds the city. On the outside, you just basically see jungle. Like there's a couple small shacks right outside the gate, and kind of leading around the city. It's not quite like a sub or not sub, like a barrio, if you want to get like this, or a
Gotcha.
slum. That's the word I'm looking for. It's
Okay.
not quite at that level. There's just like the occasional like people live outside the city. Um,
It's not quite a shanty town. but
yeah,
it's
yeah, shanty town might be the word.
Oh,
They may
shit.
or may not be actual citizens. They may or may not be the convicts that have been put on the island. It's hard to tell.
How
Um,
close can I get into, like, how far is it into the jungle? Like, once, like, if I keep going, like, how fast am I in the green and I'm out? Like, it's gonna be hard to tell that I'm there.
uh, like to escape into the jungle effectively.
Essentially, yes.
Um, so I mean, at your speed, it's just a matter of seconds. Because like I said, like there's a little bit of buildings on the outside. Other than that, it's basically just a road, like a dirt road that just kind of goes out, and you just see it kind of turn a corner into the jungle. And but other than that, it's just jungle. You can see like the mountain that's in the center of the island in the distance because it's just massive.
So like maybe 100 yards or so.
Yeah.
It's not very far.
It's not one touchdown away.
Epic.
Yeah, you could do it.
Yeah.
He instantly gets hit by a beam.
Found you.
Right, I want to look back to the other prisoners that for some reason I have some affinity with because we were all chained together for such a short time.
That's right.
Yeah, I
And
mean, in the
and yell
building,
out
you have people
essentially
been able to
there's
contact.
safety, like safety, safety.
All right. You look back. They are still running. You would have noticed because they're not exactly subtle. The big blast that hit kind of in between you and them now.
No.
And as the other two of you are approaching, getting closer, 100 feet, 80 feet to the gate, so on and so forth, you do see a couple of these creatures come out, and they are not attached to people, so they are clearly looking for somebody to hook up with.
I don't swing that way, baby.
And you see a couple of them sort of lock eyes on you and start approaching you. The street's very wide, so you can definitely try to get around them.
If I were to use my vast intelligence, I'm hyper smart. What would I estimate their say if they were to sprint for about 6 seconds? How fast could they move?
They move double their normal speed. They move. I gotta do math. They would move 50 feet.
That's much faster than I could go.
Isn't your base movement 30?
It is. In
Nope.
6 seconds.
But if you sprint, it's 60.
Oh,
There we go.
Good
Basic
point,
math,
huh?
guys. All right.
Now, if
Hello.
I might have a way to distract them, so you guys can get away.
You can certainly
I-
try.
I can try and summon my ancestral guardians and have them, my spirit emu brethren of the past, assault them, and
My
they will
brother's
be
emu.
distracted by the spirit emus, and you guys can keep running. So I'm getting ready to go look up, so I can figure out how this works.
That's fair. I was gonna.
And in preparation for this, I'm going to start. I will essentially be looking like I am praying as I'm summoning up spirits of the ancestors. That well, actually, I think I probably have to rage. This is to my raging, so I'm probably going to have to rage. Use a rage to then summon the spirits of my ancestors to get rid of these unnatural demon things that are just pissing me off. It really grinds my gears that they exist.
Share with the group. What do the ancestors manifest as?
Emus. They're my ancestors.
Are they like equal size emus, or are they like?
That's the kind of thing I gotta go look. I gotta go figure it out. I don't know if I'm gonna like be summoning giant emus or larger than life emus or regular sized emus. Or I mean, they could
Or
be
could just
little
be like
velociraptor
miniature
emus.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, kaiju emus.
it's like 100 duck-sized horses, kind of like situation, but they're all emus.
Or one horse-sized duck.
Those are your
I played
options.
this
You get one
game.
or the other.
I gotta go
Yeah.
look. I'm trying to look it up because it was something under the barbarians like stuff.
So while he's
Um,
looking that up,
The path of the ancestral garden. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pop a divine sense, and it's just so I know whether or not this is celestial fiend or undead.
It does appear to be undead. It's not any undead you are familiar with because you're used to like zombies, ghouls,
Right.
gas, that kind of thing. But it does appear to be undead. Yeah. So as the
How much of a lead do we have on them?
you're pretty much right on them, but on the opposite side of the street.
Oh, okay, so not much.
No,
We close the
like-
distance fairly easily.
Yes, like if you guys don't go for it, you can assume that they will
What
catch
do I
up.
have to roll to go for it?
Go for it. Don't roll a one
Yeah,
on a
don't
D6.
roll a 1. And
Oh, is it true?
if you re-roll it, it's gonna be a 1 also.
Yeah, ones beget ones. It's blood bowl rolls. Ooh, I saw that.
Nope.
No. So you're just using your action to sprint. That's how it
Yeah,
is.
that seems to be the wisest decision. Is to
Yeah.
just, GTFO.
Okay.
All right, guys. So this is I can make this work, but I gotta throw the cane at them.
Don't keep the cane. We're gonna need it for the jungle.
You do have like
No,
a
so I
2
have to rage, and then I have to hit one of them with an attack for the spirits of the ancestors to attack them.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. You're super far away.
All right, I won't try
Yeah,
and save
you've
you.
got
You can just die.
distance.
Okay.
And you can like I said, they're pretty much even, just on the opposite side of the street. But yeah, so Amen, you're also running, sprinting.
Yeah. I have no reason not to. I'm not gonna try to stand and fight them.
Fair. Yeah. So as you guys are sprinting, Munga is trying to use his Munga brain to try to figure out how to deal with many, and distract them or whatever it is. You guys start sprinting. You do hear these things plodding along behind you, skittering behind you. But if you guys keep your sprint, you do hear the distance is getting greater between you and them.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after a couple seconds, you will be able to reach the gate and be up with Manga.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's your decision.
I'm gonna
You
catch
go.
my breath,
Into the jungle, quickly.
Welcome to the jungle.
bro. You do everything quickly.
We've got fun
Calm
and
down.
games.
Here it is.
There it is. Bailey, quickest to crack one open and make bad decisions. All right. So yeah, so you guys can run straight into the jungle. You do see other people. There are some people who have been able to make it out with you guys. They're also just going for the jungle. Some of them are staying to the road. Some of them are just going off into the actual jungle, assuming that that's going to be enough cover for them. And all that.
Things like they're leaving the city.
So I
I
want
don't
to.
like this assumption.
I want
I
to
don't like the
slow
fact you
down.
use the word assume.
Yeah. And I wanna kind of try to look back and see if they follow out the gate.
Okay, so y'all are gonna look back.
Yeah.
I am. I'm not gonna speak for the other two.
Look
Yeah,
back
well,
at
and
it.
Alex.
Look back at it.
Also, but yeah. So if you take a second after you kind of reach a little bit down the way, um, you will see a couple of them caught some people right outside the gate, but you do see a couple of them kind of stop shortly after leaving the gate, look around, look at you guys, and then turn around and sprint back in.
Okay. Good to know. You did say there were a couple of like houses out here, or like are they like houses or like shacks?
Like shacks.
Like well-built shacks?
No. They're clearly thrown together by like refuse, and whatever
They're gonna fall on you.
driftwood and
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay. I'll the closest one to the jungle, regardless of whether or not it's like right by us or if I have to go up a bit. I'll just enter it, see if they have like a machete or something used to clear like jungle underbrush.
Clearly, you were incarcerated for being a thief.
Right.
Don't even have to
This is a
ask.
This is a survival situation.
That's why I'm trying to
roll
get into the jungle. I can survive there.
Yeah. I can't. I'm not a fucking bird. We'll do this.
Yeah, you can't pick pockets with the neck.
49.
49.
49.
You don't find a machete. You do find a that didn't take long at all. You got 69 the second roll. You don't find a machete. You do find a like a knife. Not quite a pocket knife, but it's also not quite a dagger.
I'll grab that.
Kind of size.
Might help.
So you do find that.
Show. All right. Cool. Into the jungle.
Into the jungle. Everyone on the same boat.
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
Till something better presents itself.
Yeah. Quick. Just a thing. How much longer do we got on stream?
About 30, 35 minutes.
Okay, so make sure I'm reading the time right. All right.
Yep.
Okay. So as you guys make your way into the jungle, and I put away my monster manual.
It's got his finger
Aha!
bookmarked.
I was. I took it out. Yeah. So you guys make your way. It's been probably like 15, 20 minutes. You guys can you don't need to be running at this point. You clearly saw that the things weren't necessarily following you. And you probably made the assumption, especially because, Amen, you were a soldier once. You should probably conserve your energy a little bit.
Yeah. That's why I was slowing down.
But you do look back. By this point, you've rounded some curves in the path, and can no longer directly see the city. Now over the trees, you can still see the silver tower, and it looks
what's
just like
left
how
of
you
it.
saw it before. Yeah, and it's just being consumed by all this like tendrily gooiness
So
out in the distance.
we don't really have a sense of scale, and I understand we don't know a lot about the island.
Yes.
But obviously, you know, uh, Jacques let us know that a lot of people make their way to Free Dock, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it would have even come up in the conversation because obviously I don't think anybody actually asked it. But on foot, do we have a rough idea as to how far that's going to take, or how long I should say?
Yeah, we'll say through rumor, you'd be able to discern a little bit because that is the most popular place people go afterwards.
Hmm.
It is a couple. It takes about a week on foot. So, because you are, it is a path, but it is also the jungle. Additionally, even though it's a pretty well worn path, it still has its complications
Right.
as you go along. The big island.
So,
So like, there's no.
go ahead, Bailey.
I was gonna say, so like, if we're trying to find this information, like, are we alone in the jungle, or are there other people running by us or stopping to breathe near us that we could ask these questions? Like, we just be like, we're going to
Yeah,
go have this
yeah. So
conversation
you,
right now, or are there
yeah,
people around us going, all right, we got to make it to XYZ place because that's where this waypoint in the jungle, or like, can we perceive attempt to perceive conversation of those around us, or are we just literally in the middle of the jungle by ourselves?
yeah. So you guys would have seen some people ahead of you. Some people have made it since then. You've passed by probably a couple people either also taking a breath or kind of coming back out of the woods onto the path because they were trying to figure out where the hell they were going. Um, Everybody kind of like is wary of each other, so nobody's really staying next to each other unless they already knew each other, basically. Because they know this is an island of convicts,
Right.
effectively. So the trust level is pretty low. And they knew people were inboarding or whatever from the
Waterboarding.
dock. Yeah. Um, so like some of them will answer some questions from a distance, but most of the ones that were guards or citizens, they just base off a rumor because they don't go there, right? Um, and then anybody else is also a convict, so they're just getting out of the city, so like they don't necessarily know.
So
Also,
are people still kind of running once they hit the jungle, or are they slowing down and stopping? Because the assumption for me is that most of the people that are running are citizens or guards at this point. Because I
yeah,
don't have, we don't know how many convicts will get escorted every time. So I'm
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of curious to see how these people are interacting now that they're outside of the city and in the jungle.
Yeah, so like I said, like it's been probably 15-20 minutes. So everybody out this far is definitely not running anymore. Um, they're at a point of walking or resting. Obviously very distraught. Like I said, they're small groups of people who clearly know each other or were next to each other and know like they're either they're on the same side, uh, talking amongst themselves. And like I said, if you want to ask people, you can potentially get rumors.
Is there
Um,
a guard
Ideas.
nearby?
You can find a couple.
I assume they're kind of like commingling with each other.
Yeah, yeah. And they're trying to talk out, trying to figure out chain of command amongst themselves.
Right. I'm gonna approach. I'm gonna approach the guards. That's where I'm gonna go first.
Okay. And
Uh,
as you approach, seeing that you have a weapon,
yeah,
all right, one of them will draw his sword, and kind of point at you and be like, "Stay right there.
sure.
I don't need you any closer."
Yeah, I'll stop.
We are in prison out
Okay.
still.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, but now you're in with me, so you keep that in mind.
I'm not stuck in this jungle.
Oh, man. Uh, yeah. So he'll just kind of point at you and be like, "All right, what do you want? We have enough to worry about. Clearly, like
I would say
what?
you have literally nothing to worry about now, but where are their civilizations?
Like, well, you left the best one. Um, you can travel to the other side of the island. That's
Sure.
apparently where all the other convicts. He's kind of like a little bit of a look of disgust and points at you. The whole group really. And he's just like, I heard it's called Free Dock. It's on the other side of the island, which I know is really far away. I don't fancy myself going there. That's all rumor.
Crazy. Almost like
There-
you'd probably get murdered there.
It is pretty crazy. Um,
Hey God,
yeah,
guards are bastards.
and he does say like there's rumors of like other smaller settlements throughout the island
Right.
that aren't necessarily on the. I will let you guys are not necessarily on the map. From what you were able to tell, and the knowledge that you've been able to discertain.
Secret guard bases.
Yeah, and I mean there are probably he's not going to tell you directly, but you can assume that there may or may not be outposts from the guards of the city
Right.
in certain places throughout. But for the most part, you know that they kind of stay out of the island and just try to stay to the city unless
Right.
they absolutely have to. Yeah, so there are other settlements, there are other places in the jungle somewhere.
Okay.
But his biggest thing is he knows about Free Dock on the opposite side of the island.
So where are you guys gonna go?
It's like, first off, none of your business.
Whoa,
How
dude.
many of them are there?
Yeah.
In this group, there's about 4 of them.
Okay.
If ever there was a time to murder hobo, it is now, gentlemen. We are
Yeah,
literally all hobos on an island.
Right.
yeah. He kind of says what he says. It's not really your decision. He's like, but we're probably going to reconvene and try to gather people to go back and try to figure something out.
So
This is not a place for my people.
I don't know how to break it to you, but there's not really a place to go back to. So there's not really a lot to figure out.
Well, it's been a couple minutes. I don't know. And I ain't got any better decisions. And I'm not going out in these woods and getting shanked by some low life.
It's alright. You don't need to go there. You can shake right here.
Sure. So you don't know anything about this island other than maybe there's a free dock on the other side of it. That's basically what I'm gathering.
Yeah, like the guards either they're stationed in the city or they come off the ships. That's pretty much it.
Right.
I want to find a proper walking, natural looking stick that I can use as a walking stick that also is long in the sense that like I could use it like almost like a quarterstaff while this is going on.
You didn't ask how big the walking cane was.
It was a big old man.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like an ogre-sized man with a top hat.
I'll tell you what. Roll a percentage, and it may or may not be big enough for you.
Did I manage to swipe anything from that store?
Yeah, I need Chris to roll.
I get
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Give me a second.
percentile.
Yeah. You can absolutely percentile that. Sorry, what'd you say, Chris?
53 is what Bailey got.
53. Yeah. So it is actually relatively large. This was not necessarily like an old man walking cane. Like it is shaped like that, but it's a little bit closer to like wizard level. Would hold it up a little bit higher.
Like a shepherd staff.
You like Gandalf.
Yeah, like slightly shorter than like a shepherd staff. I would say it's probably about 5 feet long.
Fucking Gandalf the Whack.
Yeah.
Know how big emus are, bro?
Yeah, I do. That's why Australians hate them.
That's why they lost the war.
Yeah, so I'm not going to try to fight with 4 guards. So it's just going to have to wait until they separate and pick them off one at a time. I mean,
Oh, what? That's crazy. Yeah, so kind of from here, y'all can start making your way into the woods. We'll kind of go over. We'll probably use this last little bit to kind of go over like some of the crap that y'all could find on your way.
right.
Just so you guys kind of have general supplies and all that stuff. So I think that's what we should use for those last like 20-ish minutes, and kind of sort of end here.
Yep.
And then we'll plan for next time. Which
Roll me
we're
some
doing 2
roll me
weeks,
some
right?
survival, Chris. I'm gonna find food in the jungle so we can survive. Let's go. Roll them dice.
There you go.
I built myself for this. I'm going to be the requirer of many things.
An 18.
18, you say?
Yeah.
18 on survival. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, you can definitely find some like fruits and veggies out in the woods.
Some roots,
Something
edible
up.
roots.
Yeah, you just like digging them out of the ground.
Get some big bugs underneath some trees that you can eat like popcorn. I've seen that shit.
What? Like some witchetty grubs?
Yeah. Feed the homies.
Right.
I hate that I remember that. That's what those are. But yeah. So kind of to go over with everyone, and if anybody's still left in the stream. Oh my God, Alex, come here. Do you see? Did you see it?
Alex is like twitching terribly.
Oh my god.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. That's funny.
Lip is.
Oh God. On mine, it's a my video is frozen. It's a
Oh God. Yeah. No, mine's much funnier.
yeah.
Yours is just like full on out.
I'm going in fucking insane.
Yeah. So anyway, to go over
It's not
anyone.
a camera error, guys. I'm just doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, he's just doing it. Go over anybody still on stream and all that stuff. 2 weeks, right? We're gonna do this again.
Yes. Maybe.
2 weeks.
I might be in New Mexico.
That's fair.
Such Mexico.
So maybe we pick another day, or it's in 3 weeks, one or the other.
Let me find a calendar real quick.
We did a great job starting this right before all major holidays.
Right.
Right.
Now, Matt, you're living in Indy full time right now, right?
During the week I do. Usually on the weekend I come back here. It just kind of depends.
That just means I'm just saying you could come crash at my place. Like if we had to do a weekday game and you need internet, I have internet and I live in Indianapolis.
So two
Yeah,
weeks
no,
is the. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no. I have internet where I'm staying in Indy. It's more like the space more than anything. But assuming you have decent internet, I'll definitely kick in your door because I like having somebody in the room. Feels a little bit more lively.
We can do that. We can make it happen.
So yeah, potentially sometimes I might kick in your door. I might be here to kick in Alex's. We'll kind of go per session basis. Kind of just depends where I'm going for the week.
How much time we got left? 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Let's murder something.
So 20th is in 2 weeks. So it's gonna be a 50-50. So we'll plan for it, and then if it turns out I can't, I'll make sure right away that I let everybody know, and then we would just push it to the 4th.
Okay.
Sure.
So 2, maybe 3 weeks.
2 or 4 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. Okay.
That works.
Yeah. So tentatively.
Tentatively 2 weeks. Definitely 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So either our next session will be the 20th of November or the 4th of December, but we will definitely do the 4th of December.
Yes. Okay. So that we kind of got that figured out. As for like supplies, going back to the game, to kind of wrap up. So we're gonna say like throughout you guys leaving the city, I know so Alex went into a store. Manga was sticking his head in stuff. Between all that and things that may or may not have been on the road that people have dropped in their haste to leave. What is going on with your computer? Did you turn it off? Oh
no. What's happening?
You just keep like going on and off. Y'all get some stuff. So we can go through and kind of roll that out. So if you've got like a player's handbook, you can roll percentile on stuff. Or if you want me to look or Alex to look on stuff, we got tables.
I guess I do need to have that open because I can't hear Chris and them then. This thing sucks. I hate this computer.
Alex is having a
Yeah,
great time over here.
My Discord on my
Well, I
computer.
think the gear like that we find we can just do offline. Like that's fine
Okay,
because we can
I'm
roll it
cool with
out
that.
and we can because everybody watching is gonna just understand that we got some basic like food and supplies.
Okay. Holy shit! I think
Living off the land. That's what we're doing.
And
We're
then
begging.
Yeah.
we got. I'm just making sure I've got everything. So we're gonna be kicking off in woods. So real quick, is the general plan just so we don't forget by next session? Is the general plan? Do we want to just try to go to free dock, guys? Is that what we want to try to do?
Or do we want to go up the mountain,
Oh,
worship the ancestors?
I can't hear anyone.
Is the he Chris asked if the general plan is for you guys to go to Free Dock.
Or like,
How much else
I was say I think
we can do?
Bailey suggested also maybe the mountain.
If you find like ruins or any settlements on the way, it'd be cool to loot them, get some supplies, get some like armor, survival shit, because we basically don't have weapons. I technically do not have a spell book, so I can only cast cantrips until I get a spell book.
Like I said, you probably have a couple. You have some papers.
I have some paper.
Yeah, you probably wrote some down. You're a nerd like that. Yeah,
There are probably caves in that mountain. We can go find some magic tomes, and we can go Smeagol. We're gonna go Gollum it up in that mountain. Let's go, Gollum Mountain.
Precious. Yeah, so Bailey suggested going to the mountain also.
Yes, so the mountain does grant wishes,
In theory.
Under the mountain.
which I'm
Go in the
all about
caves.
wishes being
But
granted.
yeah, he's also talking about caving under the mountain.
That's fine. That's cool as fuck.
He wants to go full Gollum, is what he said.
Yeah, until it turns into the
There are
descent and
probably
we're hunted by
treasures.
goddamn cave vampires.
Yeah. That I don't know, maybe it happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah, so
I can hear you guys' beautiful voices now.
yeah, so either way, if you head straight for Free Dock, it is going to be what you assume to be at least a week under normal conditions. You can try to find other places along the way. That's rumored to be settlements, as like I said, or other places of interest. You can try to go to the mountain. So maybe in the chat, y'all just kind of put in the chat like your vote.
Ask the
Whichever
chat.
one.
Where do you want us to go? Yeah.
Yeah, or yeah, if there is people in the chat that want to or put their 2 cents in.
So, is there any other? So this is where we're going to do the stream promoting. What's the next Phoenix Gaming event on the stream where we can also continue to remind people that hey, we have a D&D session and the group's trying to figure out where we can go. Please put in the chat what we should do. So, like, what's the next thing, Chris?
So Monday I'll be doing a hobby stream. And I try to do those Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They're about 2 hours. They're 8 a.m. to about 10 a.m. Wow.
A few hours.
8 to 10, you know. And that's typically we just kind of hang out, we talk. It's less about the hobby and more about just kind of like hanging out, and we go over whatever. I think one time we just sat and talked about like horror movies and stuff for a couple hours. It was pretty cool. And then Thursdays we do our 40K stream.
Like that looks familiar.
We definitely get a lot of interaction on that as well. So we'll make sure we're bringing it up.
Yeah.
Bueno.
Have any other events? Like, where can we meet the Chris in person?
December 3rd, we do the doubles. We do an annual doubles 40K tournament. I think that's about it right now, unless you're going to the Grand Narrative, which is a Games Workshop event. I will be running the kill team tables for that, so I will be in New Mexico for that. But I think as far as just major things where I'm going to be at physically for the rest of the year, it's just going to be the doubles. I think we're going to be kind of calming down until the end of December because I've done so many events in the last few months.
Yeah. I think on my BCP in the last like 4 or 5 months, I have like 7 or 8 events logged.
Right.
And it's just like, fuck.
Yeah, we did Chicago Open. I've run a 2K, the team tournament. I'll have the doubles. We did the event in Indy that we played in. You know, and I'm sure there was at least 1 or 2 more in there. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And then also, Bailey, you and I are going to need to figure out when we can sit down and kind of do some kind of co-stream where we talk either wargaming in general or 40K as well. So
Talk about Napoleonics.
Yeah.
Possible.
we could be a
No, I'm gonna tell you what it's also about. We also got a Civil War campaign running, like right afterwards, a World War II campaign that I got to start playing Imperial Japan. That I still have the models Chris gave me that I got them in phone, but we got some stuff at the Michigan GT that I got to paint up. And then there's an older game that I actually have a model in that they're getting ready to get plastics. So when this Quartz War gets plastics, we're gonna have to talk about that because I'm gonna be all about it when the time comes.
There you go. We're going to call it here. We're about 10 minutes till 1, but it looks like people are just kind of dropping out at this point. So thanks for watching. Hope everybody had a good time.
Yep. See you.
See you at 8, salad.